Hey, folks. Guess what? 1,000 subscribers. Actually, it's at 1,050. Went up 10 while Miss T and I have been praying. Holy cow, okay. I hope that you've been okay, that you're feeling a little bit better. Been saying a prayer for you about your lung problems that you've been going on. Holy cow, 1,050. I couldn't have done this without any one of you, even the persons that just listen to this freaking show 10 seconds. Holy cow. What's going on, folks? How you guys doing? What you guys up to? Hey, what you drinking? Hold on just a second. Let me get this freaking thing here. We'll turn down this music real quick. Hold on just a second. There we go. Yeah. We're about done with this anyway, this music. So how you folks doing there? Everybody right as rain? Doing all okay, looks like. Well, I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Well, hopefully I'm still alive. Am I still alive? It looks like I'm still alive. Ain't kicking? Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, here we go. I don't know what happened there, but looks like I'm still alive. Hopefully. Yep. Looks like I'm still alive. And, well, I don't know. Let's see. Right here. Okay, how you guys doing there? Let me get this stream stuff up and running. Live stream YouTube studio. All right. Holy cow, change dashboard? I don't know what that is. Well, hopefully this is doing all right. Yeah, okay. There we go. We're live and up and at 'em, looks like. Or that's at least, there we go. Hot dogs. You know, the things I do in the background, I kind of wonder, what the heck's going on? Now that we've got all the parties gathered, please like and share and subscribe if you haven't already. It looks like a few people wound up. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, we did a little change up with the stream look. But thank you for every last one of you. 1,050 of you have decided to like, share, and subscribe. Well, at least subscribe anyway. Holy cow. All I can tell you is I'm surprised it went as far and as wide as it did. And wow. Let's see who's aboard here. Let me get these chat things going here. I've done a couple of things while we were talking. Yeah, here we go. Aha. Let's see. One man band, my friend. Congrats on 1K. Thank you, one man band. You have absolutely been a part of this. You know, you call in just about every other show. You've helped out with this. As I progressed over here from the Dark Waters channel, which I'll be doing that this Saturday, and I've got brand new news other than what we were talking about. 1,000K subscriber, folks. Holy cow. All I can tell you is I couldn't have been here without you. Mogollon Monster, he did a live stream a few nights ago. Thank you for that live stream. That certainly got me over the hump, that 1,000 mark. I don't know what it is, but 1,000 seemed like it was a long time away, but here it is. Thank you to God for allowing me to come back, and thank you to Dark Waters for giving me the opportunity to start this. This thing I call Chasing the Truth. I honestly, I don't know what any of this is all about other than I'm supposed to be here doing this for no short guess about it. I believe I'm here to do this time. Holy cow. But interesting enough. But how you guys doing? Thank you to Bass Mayhem. Miss T, love my life. If you weren't in my life, I'd probably give this shit up a long time ago. But there you go. All I can say is yes, indeedy. Happy hour. Thank you for the well wishes and the subscribes. Candy Girl, thank you. Wow. Typhon, the Last Titan, yes. And just, holy cow is all I can tell you. And I've become syndicated, believe it or not. I have become syndicated as of this Saturday. I will be on the FM Fringe, believe it or not. No changes from the perspective of anybody that's out there. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is what I'll be flashing up. There'll be some minor changes and stuff, but I will be on the FM Fringe. Not tonight, but Saturday night, every Saturday night, my usual time over on the Dark Waters Network. And I'm on the Dark Waters radio channel over on the Paranormal Radio app. Holy cow. Impromptu truth, buddy. Welcome. I'm glad to see you guys. All of you. But thank you. 1,050 of you decided to join the Truthers Club. Truthers family. Chasing the Truth family. Razor Wolf, buddy. Hey! Glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. God bless you. Been praying about you. Been praying about a bunch of people that we, Miss T and I, usually get right before every show, say a prayer. And we've been praying for a lot of people. And holy cow. The blessings just keep coming and coming and coming. That's all I can tell you. It may be small in a number, but the friends that you gather in doing this kind of thing is just impressive, and God bless each and every one of you. It's just holy cow that I'm doing this. This is just, I wouldn't have even thought I would be doing this. 10 years ago, 5 years ago? No, I wouldn't have thought anything about this. 2018, late 2018 is when I started doing this thing with Dark Waters, and it's progressed to this. That's impressive. Impressive indeed. All I can tell you is, honestly, I don't deserve to be here, but apparently I've hit, you think so that's why I'm here. I wouldn't be here without you. Yes, you, the one that's actually listening to me right now. Even if you haven't subscribed. There's Sheila. Thanks, Sheila. I've still got that video that you shared with me on other live streams. Still got that queued up, that shadow creature thing, whatever the hell that was. But, yeah. Impressive. To say the least. It's definitely a talker, for sure. To expand your brain and say, wait a minute, what was that? But there apparently was a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, that was released. And I had a link for it, and I was going to share it, and all of a sudden the link was gone. So I don't have it. But there apparently was a 50-some minute UAP from the United States government was released today, and it was, went famous all of a sudden. All of a sudden I was like, where the hell all these things come from? Brand new, and I don't have it, but I plan on having it as soon as I can figure out where it's at. But apparently there's a new UFO video from the government, United States government out. Share it anytime. Oh, please. I appreciate that, Sheila. I appreciate that. Hopefully I'll be able to respond to you a little bit better, because I got the low latency on here. Yeah, it shouldn't be that long between. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Wait. I just got a new. Wait just a second. I got to see this. James, I just got the, holy cow, thank you, James, for the donation. I'll definitely be adding you to the donation tip list here, PDQ. Thank you, James, for the donation of the PayPal. Wow is all I can tell you. Holy cow. The Ball of Nightmares, there you are, brother. What's going on? The Rubber Ducky UFO. Yeah, that's it. Rubber Ducky UFO. Sure, why not? Let me show Life Dweller. I'll go ahead and pop that on there. If that's another moderator has already handled that. Yep. Rubber Ducky UFO. I watched I just skimmed it just a little bit, Life Dweller. And all I saw was just a white dot, as a lot of these UFOs tend to be. But I need to go back and look at that. But let me click on that. That's interesting to Go Rubber Ducky. Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots. Oh, I probably got copyrighted on that if I do that. Lisa Ray, all you fine ladies and gentlemen out there. No Hero. Who disappeared? I don't know who disappeared. Who disappeared? A UAP link that was in chat. Oh, not chat. I was watching something on YouTube, as always. And the UAP link just disappeared. I was trying to show Miss T, and I can't find it. Where'd it go when you hit it? Gene, what's going on, brother? Thank you for all the well wishes and 1,000 subscribers. Oh, I couldn't have done it without any one of you. Every one of you has helped out with this. And it's just one of those crazy days for sure. All I can tell you is this place definitely got to hold down Sean. I don't doubt. Well, Miss T, she keeps me square. Tries to keep me square. Sometimes I fringe at the end. But yeah, news flash. If you haven't seen Dark Waters announced this 2 days ago. I am definitely going to be on the Fringe FM Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. I talked to Joe Roop, that's over that network, a couple days ago. He said, yep. And holy cow. Thanks to Joe Roop and the Fringe FM. So, wow. The Vault of Nightmares is in the house. All I can say is good evening, all. Silent Rain over there. Yeah, good evening to you. Hey, guys. Thaddeus Cray, Wes. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And I found a new website that does 3D animation. So if I went a little freaky on the 3D animation, GIFs, or whatever you want to call it, it's my own damn fault because I went through and started doing all this stuff and said, hey, that will add to my stream. Well, maybe not, maybe. How do you like the new stream look? Is it all right? It's just one of those things. But tonight is Unscreened Open Lines. Unscreened Open Lines means that when you call, you got a piece of paper, pencil, chalkboard, write it in the ground, 931-994-6917. Flat Rock, what's up, brother? I've got one of your, I got one of your things still on queue here from last show. I've got one of his Bigfoot, Sasquatch audio recordings already queued up. This is one of those things. You turn it off and it might come in handy later. But definitely, I've got a couple of things to share with you. Honestly, folks, this is a thank you stream, and all I can say is thank you. Thank you, thank you. From Dark Waters to definitely the Vault of Nightmares. Status Cray West, buddy, you have helped me out just about every inch of the way for the past few months. Appreciate you. Impromptu Truth, definitely you're out there for sure. Bass Mayhem. Yeah, I've been seeing you on Facebook out there fishing. What's the biggest thing that you caught this year? What's the biggest fish? There, Bass Mayhem. Oh, wow. Flat Rock. Lisa Ray. Lisa is definitely one of those good ladies that she's just been... I think she's just been there ever since the first show I've actually done that I can remember back. She's been with watching and been with the show since almost the inception almost. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lisa Ray. Edward, thank you. God bless you and your family as well. There's Del P. Holy cow, there's all kinds of thank yous. I can just go down through here and just thank everyone that just pops in. Andy Warhol's wig. Okay. Wow. Andy Warhol. I like that. I like that chat name. That's for sure. I like that chat name. And everybody, even down to, I think Jar Pickles can no longer do this, but even down to Jar Pickles he can't even, I think somebody took care of him a long time ago on my channel, but I appreciate him as well, even though he is an interesting character. So, Chaos Productions. What, is he in there? I haven't seen that. Yeah, he is. Chaos Theory Productions. There you go. Mystery Schooler. Hey, I saw you. You were one of those last minute folks that subscribed. And interesting enough, right before we started praying, Miss T and I, before we got on live here, we were at 10,040 even. And right before I hit, let's go live, I went to 1050 before we realized it, Miss T and I. And I'm like, wow, I don't know what's going on, but all I can say is somebody upstairs and somebody that's listening likes what they're hearing. But yeah, buddy, that's all we can do. Joshua, thank you. Listen to all your shows, love them. Bro Vault. Yeah, Vault has definitely, he's one of those characters that you say something, a couple words to him or get him to remember something and he won't shut up for a good 15, 20 minutes. He's one of those that always has a story for everything. He's one of those easy guests, like John Bell over on Dogman Cans. I actually had DDoS was on my live stream over on the Dark Water Saturday night. He called in last hour. I think it was last hour. Yeah, it was last hour. He called in. Fantastic to finally talk to him. He's out and about, and I think he's joined the Dark Water family with the Dogman Cams, and I think they're going to go on Vault himself, and I think they were trying to get DW and somebody else, maybe John, to go out to a something like late November, I think, wasn't it, Vault? Late November to go out and investigate the Dogman territory. If I recall correctly, Vault was out in New Orleans in Louisiana, down in the DW land, out in the swamps out there, looking for a frickin' camera that was absconded with a while back. He found a post hole where DW sunk the post in, and the spray foam. I saw him on live stream. Looked at or installed that, and I was like, why is he putting spray foam in there? But hey, if it worked, it worked. One word, bacon. Hey, speaking of bacon, I made bacon chicken wraps today. Believe it or not. Delicious. Frozen chicken, a piece of bacon, and $3.75 for 55 minutes, and boom, perfect. Cut it up and put it in, and that's all you can say about bacon. John Paul, what's up, brother? Salute. But, yeah, definitely call in, say howdy. If you got a story to share, something truthful, that's the number to call, 931-994-6917. But this is a thank you live stream for all those fine folks that decided, hey, I want to hit that sub to Chasing the Truth. And I scratch my head and go, well, alrighty. 1,000 people's already, and thank you. One fellow, the day before that I actually did a live stream and say, hey, need a favor. And that favor came from Mogollon Monster. And if you look down in the description of this live stream, you'll see a link to Mogollon Monster's live, or his YouTube. Go over there and pay him some love. Hit a subscribe, or at least listen to some of his stuff. He does 2 days a week. I think it's Tuesday and Fridays. Late in the evening, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. It's about an hour apart. I think Tuesdays early and Fridays are the late ones. But yeah, Bigfoot Anon. There you go. Bigfoot Anonymous. I was actually on a live stream with Gypsy Road earlier. Just chit-chatting over there. Talking to a couple of 3 or 4 people over there. And yeah, let's see what Joshua Marshall has to say. I've listened to Sean Vault, Chaos, Dark Waters, Brother John Bell. So much feels like I know you guys. Well, you may be. I'm pretty straightforward. I'm usually the same old when I get off of here, other than you don't see the shit fits that I throw every once in a while. I act like I'm a 2-year-old sometimes, but I'll just let you know that I'm not always this casual, easygoing fellow. But thanks to Miss T for putting up with me and keeping me straight and keep me square. Oh, goblin. Moist goblin. Hey, what's going on? Ahoy. All right. We got a caller. And as soon as I get you on board here, Unscreened caller, let me get the thing squared away so you can be on there. And Unscreened caller, I believe it is One Man Band. What's up, brother?
Oh, nothing, man. What's going on? I'm going to be quick with this one. I got 2 stories for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you for calling.
So I had mentioned one of these stories. It's a family member of mine. I'm not going to say which family member because, you know, it's a story that, you know, is kind of, I guess you could say, secretive. But since it's a 1,000, you know, subscriber show, I'm gonna tell this story. So a family member of mine was living in another family member's house. And it's someone very close. Like I said, I've mentioned parts of this story before. So one night, and so I guess back, it was months ago, I guess, is when I told the story about the park, and I had some experiences there growing up and things like that. Well, it's not this location or this site or this encounter, I guess you could say. It's a Bigfoot encounter.
All right.
It didn't happen too far from that park. About, I would say, probably less than a mile. It's kind of a neighborhood. Then it goes down a road, and then the park's over here, and then you got another, you got another historical place over here at the end of that road. And he's laying there, and he has the window cracked. It's real cool, kind of in the fall time, and it was right before the leaves started to fall. And he's laying there, and all of a sudden he hears footsteps and the sound of the gate, because the gate next to the house, you know, obviously you have that, like that old, in those old timey houses, you have those what do you call it? Those, not steel gates, but you know, they have like the lever, you got to pull it, and it's kind of, and they were squeaky. Well, he thought he heard it. He woke up out of sleep, and he thought he heard the gate open or kind of move. And all of a sudden he hears this crunch, and he said it felt like it was right next to the house where his window was. And it took a big old step, and he said I could feel that step as it came over. I guess it jumped over the fence. Is what he's thinking. And it thudded, and it was like a rumble. And it stopped right where the window was, but right where his head is, so he can't see the thing because the blinds are kind of low, but the window is just cracked. And it makes that thud, and he kind of looks. He's like, "What is that?" And he didn't want to, you know, he's kind of just laying there against the wall, and it lets out this sound right into that window where that opening is. And he was just frozen, and he said that it walked. It seemed like it jumped the fence and then jumped the fence right back over, and went to wherever it came from. He said to this day he doesn't know what it is. He said it kind of scared him to a point where he didn't use the bathroom on himself, but he kind of locked up. You know what I'm saying? You know, like locked up, and he had to go to the bathroom afterwards. But you know, that's a story that I wish I could give all the details. I don't want to put it all out there, but yeah, he said that thing must have jumped the fence, because it sounded like one of those old timey chain link fences that make that noise when you try to jump them. It's like that noise it makes, a clinking noise. And he said it took this real deep breath, and it had that thud. It was like it inhaled, and it was like let it out, real thick sounding. He said he never heard it go back, but he said he thinks it jumped the fence, but this time it actually cleared the fence, because he thinks that it got maybe new, because since that window was open, that somebody heard him or whatever it was.
Right.
And so, kind of leading on to the next story is a friend of that family member was driving home next to a golf course, and it's a kind of a hilly little area, but the golf course is flat. real flat, no trees around, and he was, the speed limit was about 35. I'm actually from the town, like as I mentioned before. I'm actually from that town, or that it's like a city now, it's grown. But he was saying that, and I've heard this story firsthand from him as well. And he said he thought he saw something up ahead in his headlights off to the side. And he kind of slowed down thinking it was a deer. And he was like, well, I don't want to ruin my car. So he slowed down. It was about 35 miles an hour, and he slowed down to about 10. And he hit his brakes, and he said it was a hairy guy. And all he could see was from right about like where the pelvis is, all the way up to the right above the elbow. And he said his brake lights hit it perfect. Like it had it was standing off right where right where the headlights could, barely make out what he was seeing. He said when he hit those brakes, it walked right behind the car.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pelvis up. And that place is notorious for having, there's no lights out there. There's a story I told about my dad. It's on that same road. Little bit on where my dad's encounter was with whatever it was following him, or I guess he says it was a wolf. Our family, my name. If anybody has it on Facebook, my real name. It means wolf cry in Muskogee. And
okay.
Yeah, and but yeah, so it's in the same vein. That city has so many things going on. It's the capital. I'll say this: it's the capital of the Cherokee Nation. Here in Oklahoma. But there's all types of stuff. I mean, I heard a story. I guess I'm telling more than two stories. I guess I tend to do that sometimes. I guess it just comes to me.
That's why you like. That's why I like you on here. You can tell a story for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, that's it, man. The 1,000 subscribers, I appreciate you having me on, and all the times that I've been on. I feel like I'm on every other show or every 2 shows sometimes, just depending on my schedule. But I appreciate you having me on, man. This is one of my favorite. I look forward to Wednesdays. It's kind of, you got a jury work week, and you're like, man. But then I get off work at 5. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to wait 3 hours for meet up with my my chat buddies. Everybody that's in there. I talk to everybody, but it's a lot of weird stuff in that place. I think last week I told a story about the seminary for Indians that were that went to the high school over there. There was all types of stuff. I'll tell you, this is a personal story of mine. And I'm gonna get off here too. This is the last one. Promise. Nothing more, nothing less after this.
All right.
Promise. So when we were growing up, my grandma's house, she lived out in the middle, kind of by 10 Killer Lake. It's a lake in the out surrounding. It's in Cherokee Nation land. She didn't live too far from it, and she lived on this mountain. And you can kind of, it's real dirt. I mean, there's nothing out there. There's probably about 10 houses out there. We was out there. She had just passed. There's a lot of weird things that went on when we were young, and I didn't really understand it, especially growing up. Grandpa always say, Papa always say, don't do this, don't do that, and but we were out there. She had just passed. I might have been, I think I was a junior in high school. We had went out there with my papa, and we're out there walking around, and we got to this ravine, and almost, because her house was on a hill, or on a hill type thing, where you had to windy road all the way down to the main road, and we were on the other side of that hill, and it's the middle of it's woods galore, and we're walking, and we get down to like this little ravine where there's no water or nothing, but it's just a valley, or kind of a pit, almost like it went up, it goes down, and then comes back up. And my grandpa, I kind of looked over at him, and he kind of looked at me, and he looked at my little brother, and he's like, "Guys, it's about time to get out of here." The forest went dead quiet. It was It was almost like you couldn't hear. I mean, it was almost like like someone. I've seen shows where I don't know how it is to be deaf, but I would equate it to that. There was no sound. It was like absent of sound. Even the crickets and the the bugs, they weren't even buzzing. And so we kind of went back up. He said that one time that there was a guy who had my grandma had dogs, and those dogs would go crazy. I mean, they were in a pen. She didn't let them loose because they said that one of them came back hurt, came back from that ravine, came back hurt. Something had got a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy that's like the neighbor, he ended up moving out. They don't know why. I think of Vault too about when it comes to this, man. This sounds like his type of thing, but we don't know who bought the house. My grandpa or my dad ended up selling the house, and she had passed, and there was just no need to have it. It was in the middle of nowhere, but to my knowledge, nobody lives out there. Nobody lives out there, I don't think. I mean, there were some things that went on. My grandpa mentioned one time that he was out there and he thought he saw a face standing behind a tree.
Mm-hmm.
He said he couldn't tell the face; it was kind of far off. But he said he would see faces sometimes, out in the, even on the side of the house, or things would go kind of, like moved around on purpose, like to mess with you. And her dogs would go crazy at night, and then they would just shut up. They'd just be dead quiet. She also had the little things that I won't say, but I'll let you get it off. I'll let you say it. But she had some of those things running around out there too. But Sean, like I said, man, I thought I'd just come on here and give you a story for your 1,000 subscribers show, man. Keep up the good work, man. And I can't wait to see where your show goes, man.
Well, it's going right now. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but God's always there, and God will always provide. So I can tell you. So,
yes, sir.
One Man Band, thank you for calling in and tell us this thing, and little people, thank you too.
I can't stand you, man.
keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. See ya. One Man Band. Now, the reason why he has an issue with it, he's Aboriginal, obviously. And I think one of the first stories he mentioned, and he kind of hummed around. And I said, "Isn't it the little people?" And he's like, "You can't say that." Well, in Aboriginal circles, you can't talk about these things. You can't talk about them because they kind of take notice from the perspective of the cryptids, supernatural, if you will. But thank you, One Man Band. Holy cow, this is just one of those things that this is why Unscreened Open Lines works, for me anyway. I've been on a few live streams. Gypsy Road. That's Gypsy Cryptid. Gypsy Road, we've talked about doing Unscreened Open Lines. Like, I just can't understand why you do this. Well, occasionally some yahoos do call in, and, hey, I've got some stuff for them if they decide to call in, but that's all right. That's why you got Unscreened Open Lines. You don't have somebody saying, hey, you're too drunk, or you're too this, or you're too that. And I've definitely fielded a few calls that you kind of wonder, hey, did that dude drink a little too much turpentine before they called? Or that lady or whoever? Holy cow. Thank you again. This is the 1,000th sub stream and a thank you stream. And let's see who's out there. We've got Mystery Schooler. What's up? Yeah, if you wanted to, Mr. Schooler, if you want to send me an email, SeanG@IamDarkWaters.com, I'll get your link that you wanted to pop up there. I think I've got it restricted to just the wrenches dropping links there. But if you want to send me a link, I'll make sure that it gets out there for you. Which, that's one of the things with this show. I don't care at all you know, a lot of people will say, well, you're supposed to do this and do that, and hoard this and hoard that. And okay, well, that doesn't work for me. It's a community, right? It is a community. So, it's paranormal, supernatural, Bigfoot, Dogman, paranormal community. And, I've seen too many people sit there and fuss about this and that. And you're like, well, that's nothing to fuss about. But hey, if you, Mr. Schooler, if you want to do that, Sean G at imdarkwaters.com, and send me that link, and I'll make sure it pops in the chat for you. Let me open my email real quick. And again, thank you to James P. for that generous tip donation. James P. says, congrats on the 1K. Holy cow. That's impressive, and I ain't even, well, I guess, yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't even popped that in there. Uh-oh, we got some guy here that I know that's on the Unscreened open lines that I work with almost every day. I've talked to him just about every day in some shape, form, or fashion. Wes Vick, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. I just kind of want to give everyone an update. I pretty much have like I said, I have a place set up. They're going to have to do a few more repairs and stuff, but once I am moved in, it's going to be about twice, maybe even 3 times the size of the place I was living.
Wow. Well, there you go. And you told me that the place that you're habitating right now, the area is a little bit cheaper from day-to-day living.
Yes and no. Unfortunately, I got to get some updates about that. Yes and no. When it comes to habitation, very much so. The problem is food, even here. I mean, I need to give people a heads up. And I went to Walmart, to get groceries and stuff for this new place. I'm probably going to get a few more later on, right after I move in. But anyway, I'll get to the point. There's inflation going on, guys. You guys need to really be paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
Prices are going steadily. I mean, I'm just saying, I normally, you got those who know me know I'm on a fixed income, so I have to work what I got. And the fact is, right now, I mean, it's not disastrous by any means. It's very, it's affordable to buy, but at the same time, I'm just giving everyone a heads up. Pay attention. A lot of these guys say in the news or whatever, and the alternative media don't. I mean, I take everything I hear with a grain of salt or read. But I'm just letting y'all know that this is something to pay attention to. If I were you guys, definitely start trying to stock up where you can here and there. Just prepare. Yeah. That's all. No more, no less.
Definitely. It's just one of those things. Anything that comes across the news, like you said, take it with a grain of salt. I kind of think that just about everything that comes before me in news, framed, it has some sort of spin on it, at least, if not just outright and manipulation. That's it, propaganda.
Well, the thing is on that, I don't really hold anything against people on that, because the thing is that's human nature. Unfortunately, whether anybody likes it or not, even the most decent of people, they're going to have maybe it's just trying to do the right thing spiritually or everything. There's always an agenda. I mean, whether it could be a good or a bad one. You just got to, basically, if someone can keep that in perspective, it makes things a lot easier to understand in the long run.
Right. Definitely.
But thing I was going to say, I called to congratulate you, sir, on 1,000 viewers, and I'm glad to hear it, man. Believe me. I'm very glad to see you doing well. I mean,
thank you, Wes, for being part of that growth. That is just, I couldn't have done it without you. You're just one, I'm just one little cog in the wheel in this whole machine, and you're one of those cogs too. So, you're right there with me. I share this with you.
Thank you, sir. But I also wanted to kind of give an update. I'm going to release a couple of videos. I'm going to start I've kind of started releasing things on mental health awareness and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be putting a few more things out there about that, and hopefully I can get these stories. I've actually written some on Werewolf Hunter Chapter 3. I've written, that story I do freeform, but I've written a little bit into the plot. There's going to be a few additions. Like I said, I can't tell you. I mean, I know I've been having a real high demand for that one. I don't know when it's going to be released. Unfortunately, it's just my living situation right now ain't allowing me, because it's folks all around me all the time. I can't just. I mean,
well, you got to have a little quiet space to do this kind of thing.
Yes. But I mean, like I said, I've actually just did a video. I'm going to upload it probably the next day or two. But anyway, It's a movie review on a very good movie, which I enjoyed quite a bit over the years. But anyway, moving from that, I just kind of want to let everyone know what's going on. And, I'm actually growing pretty well, too. I mean, I don't have a lot of people, but I mean, I have over 200 subs, and that in itself is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say thank you for helping me with that. Everybody. Paul, Micaiah, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd rather have 200 solid subs that actually do participate every, enough to where, they get some good out of it if you get any good out of it.
Oh, no doubt about it.
The ones that inflate and say, you got 10,000 subs in a month. Well, I'm not exactly sure all that's going to come.
I'd be very leery of that myself. That right there is just, I'll be honest with you, anything which happens too quickly makes me suspicious by nature anyway.
Well, it's all a game on YouTube. YouTube's got this whole thing with their analytics and how things pop up. And if you don't sit, straight well with whatever their analytics is, and they change their rules at the drop of a hat. It's
ridiculous. Yeah, believe me. I remember the apocalypse, but maybe 5-6 years ago. Yeah, that wasn't fun. I saw a lot of creators going through a lot.
Oh yeah, but this is one. Yeah, it's all a game, and if you play the game, sometimes you get out a little ahead, sometimes you don't. If you don't, as long as you're having fun doing it.
Exactly. I was going to ask. I also wanted to call and ask if anyone had any questions for me with what's coming down.
All right, go ahead, folks. If you got any questions, pop it up in the chat here. For me to see it fairly easy, just put a big old Q or a big question before the actual question. Type it out. Do that, and then we'll get that going. If you want to ask Thaddeus Cray, a.k.a. Wes Vick, he is part of the Dark Waters family. He's definitely the producer of this show, dogmancams.com, and also for he helps out Dark Waters himself occasionally. Well, I guess almost every day. Just about it. He's got something going on. At least
a couple of times a week. Yeah, there's always
there you go.
I also want to let you know there's a guy I'm trying to get a hold of. I'm not putting his story out there yet because, again, I'm pretty sure he wants to be remaining anonymous. But if I can get him on the show, this gentleman had a very harrowing experience, to say the least. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to leave it at that. Like I said, I most likely you already know. I usually say most likely I can't because I don't like to say, hey, I can do it, and it don't happen. So there's I showed him. I've been talking with him off and on. I showed him the channel today, and the rest is up to him. Just letting you know, if I can get him on, I think you might be impressed with the story.
Oh, that's cool. I would love to hear, anybody, actually. That's why I like this Unscreened Open Lines. A lot of people just call in and well, I like that story too. Definitely.
No doubt about it. So anyone got any questions?
Questions. I'm looking. Let's see. Let's move over here. Well, there's a message retracted. I was about ready to say, did I just develop a speech impediment? Yes, I did. Mr. Schooler, I got that link. I'm about ready to drop it. I appreciate you emailing me there, buddy. And doesn't look like we got any questions right now. Well, let's see. How long do you think it'll take you to get into your new place? I know that you're waiting for some cosmetics and stuff going in.
Hopefully this week. It depends on the person I'm staying with. It depends on how they're pretty much having to take things one day at a time. It could be a couple of days, might be this weekend. Who knows? I'm not even in a hurry. Like I said, I'm pretty comfortable here. I mean, I'm around good people, and I'm just saving up to do what I need to do.
Well, there you go. Well, let's see. Looks like Bigfoot Anonymous. I don't know if this is directed toward you. Who you heard of Dogman Encounter in Brownsville?
Unfortunately, no. I've been pretty much, I'll be honest with you, I limit for my own mental health. Ever since I've moved, I've been limiting. And don't get me wrong, I listen to, cryptid related stuff and paranormal, but I pretty much limit it to maybe a couple hours a day. So I don't think I've heard. I'll do some research on it and see if I can find out, but I have not heard of any sightings in Brownsville or anything near this area either, unfortunately.
Right. Well, there you go.
But I will definitely find out. All right, man. I just kind of want to touch base with you, and I appreciate you guys' support. Y'all be blessed and be safe.
All right, brother. Be blessed yourself. Been praying for you. And God answers all prayers in some shape, form, or fashion. And there you go. Wes is one of these fellows that when he's done talking, he's done talking. So yeah, there you go. Let me get this controller back up here so when it does ring, it doesn't ring into your ears, but mine. But there you go. Wes Vick, dogmancams.com. And Mr. Schooler, there you go. There's your link that you wanted dropped in there. Appreciate you always. Of course, if you want to be a part of this show, and thank you. This is a big thank you to the 1,000th subscriber. Actually, what's the current? Let's see. 1,050. Hadn't changed since I come on board here. The right below my name on the left-hand screen, left bottom half, or left bottom corner is the current live count for this stream. So if you want to, at least leave a like. I don't know how many people's watching this thing right now. I don't know. Give me just a second and we'll see. Live stream, YouTube there. Yeah. Well, it looks like it's fell a little bit. It was 50 something now. It's now. Oh, here, 66. Wow. Well, impromptu truth. I don't know. Like I said. Oh, wait a minute. We got somebody in. Here we go. Hold on just a second. Unscreened caller. I'll get you on live here in about 2 seconds. As soon as I hit this button right here. And I believe this is anonymous. No, Bigfoot Anonymous. What's up there, Connor Flynn?
What's up? I heard Wes say anonymous, so that was like my Batman signal to swoop in real quick. I always call right around the same time as Wes too. So great minds think alike. I'm a huge fan of his, and it's awesome that he helps produce this show and then helps out with Dark Waters. It's a great community we definitely have here.
Oh yeah, it's I inhabitate or go and watch some other people along with you. Let's see, Mogollon Monster, I'm right there about. And then, hold on just a second. Okay. Got to do, Miss T's just sent me a couple of messages, so I got to pay attention to her, definitely. But Mogollon Monster is one I go and do his live streams outside of Dark Waters himself, Dogman Cams. And then Gypsy Road, I was part of that earlier today. So, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, we had a good time on there.
Oh, yeah, you can't beat it. Now, you've got a new movie that's out and is about ready to, I think it's on Amazon, isn't it?
Yes, Zillafoot just got widespread release to Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, all the other, FYE, all the weird video stores that are in the mall that are just hanging on by one strand. But yes, Zillafoot is out now to the widespread release of America. But you know which movie I'm really proud of right now. It's my short, my little kitty cat, The Void Cat. Oh man, I'm so excited. And I'm going to send you the link so that by the time you're done with this stream, you and Miss T can watch it tonight when you're off.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Miss T. You already got that. She sent me a couple of questions. One from OT. Let me ask this question on here. Maybe you might have heard it as well. Have you guys ever ran into environmental reports for projects where Bigfoot is included? I may have found one such text, actually two, both for oil. That's from OT. Have you ever heard anything like that? I haven't.
My buddy from Eric Media Palace, he just did a documentary called The Beast of Hairy Man Road and then The Beast of Brushy Man Creek. He's been filing for a bunch of Freedom of Information Acts and talking to like a bunch of local contractors. And his stuff's based out of Texas. And there's been a lot of missing people. And they've closed down this Hairy Man Road multiple times. And he has brought up some contracts that Sasquatch is mentioned and redacted from the original plans. So yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And then I was just talking to Tim T in Florida about how schools always have the forest around them cut down. And of course they do that so the big people and the little people can't get too close to our friends and family at recess.
Right. True enough. And then we got something from Tamara0142. Do you get a lot of dogman sightings in Oklahoma? Other than anecdotal, I haven't. Have you heard any dogman sightings? I think DW posted a couple of things concerning dogman sightings over in that Midwest state.
Yeah, I've definitely heard reports, of course, like Arkansas, Oklahoma, even in Idaho, tons of missing people. I think that question was directed to Wes, of course. I typed that right around the same, or, I typed the question right around the same time that question was asked. But yes, there's definitely dogman encounters in Oklahoma. I will try to find some articles and I can send them through to her.
Okay, that's good. Fantastic. Now, how do they get in touch with you? That's the next question.
Yes, the best way to get in touch with me is just contact me through my YouTube or Instagram, DM, or just drop a comment, and then I will be able to get back with you. But my email address is also panhandlepecans@gmail.com. And of course, emails and messages get a little crazy. So, just hit me up however you can and however much you can. No worries at all. I still got to hit up Chase, my homie. We talked through Facebook page messenger, and man, that makes it really hard on your phone and laptop when it makes you sign in. And I'm like, man, I haven't signed in on my phone in 2 years. I don't know what my password is. It's too much. But however you guys can get a hold of me, I'm pretty much an open door. I love being part of the community, and I'm trying to be the bridge to our creator, and I'm trying to be the messenger to our best stories and historical reports. Everybody's like, oh, Sasquatch hasn't been found, this and that. Oh, we're not doing the scientific method. What are you talking about? Do your research. There are researchers that are up in the game for the last decade, and there's piles of evidence of the little people, the big people, the mound builders, the titans, the mud fossils, the mud flood. This world is a lot stranger than anybody gives it credit to. Every single movie ever created has some kind of root to reality. So that's how we have to grasp the situation. And right now, guys, is the Armageddon, the I Am Legends, the Alien versus Predator, real life. So let's grasp it and come together as humanity, because we're not that different. We all bleed red. Well, we all bleed red, and we're all made out of crystals, man. And we all release DMT out of our pineal gland the exact second we die. So it means we go to the same spot. So we came from the same source. So all these strange things in the forest, those are different. Us, we are together. We're a hive. We need to act like it. We need to stop being divided and conquered.
All right, true enough. We got here's a question that I can possibly answer to some sort of certainty, but I ask you too. Tamara also asked, "Are Bigfoot as fast as Dogman?" My answer is depends on who you talk to. I know Bigfoot is faster than a full-grown, healthy male deer buck, because I've heard several stories where these Bigfoot can run them down and kill them. And that's with them in the alert, I got a fight or flight exercises that goes along with you, that whole adrenaline junkie stuff. Yeah, they're at full kilt, and Bigfoot's still able to run them down. Now, with Dogman, I don't know. I've heard stories where it takes at least 2 to 3 Sasquatch Bigfoot to tackle and take care of a Dogman. That's just 2 to hold one arm and 1 to one arm piece and 1 to grab a hold of its head and rip it off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Is Bigfoot as fast as Dogman on your opinion there, Connor?
I would definitely say it depends on the creature and what its task is, 100%. We've heard the creatures, the Sasquatch people, how sometimes they will go on all fours. Well, these dogmen, of course, the wolf people, they would be even more comfortable on all four. I would definitely say a dogman would be faster, but hey, let's have a race one of these days. That's what I'm a referee, guys. I'm a professional wrestling referee and team sports. So maybe that can, get me ready for the dogman Bigfoot Olympics. But no, I don't know, and I don't really want to know. But I think we're closer than ever than finding out. Just like your past shows have said, maybe tidal waves are coming in Florida and California. People are going to be forced to move into the forest, and there's just going to be a number of population closer to these creatures. So we're going to have more encounters, more impact. And yeah, guys, I think it's months and years away from horror movies coming true. And I don't want to scare anybody, but just like Wes was saying, I want everybody to be prepared and start building your barrier now. And he was talking about goods and services in real life, and I'm talking about building your, spirit up and building your army of people that are going to be ready. And I know it sounds like a comic book world, but oh man, that's what we're living in, guys. If you watch the news, it's even crazier than the stuff I can blabber around about,
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, if you look at the news, they are setting up to where you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to touch them. You don't want to be 6 feet from them. So they're trying to separate us literally. So, what do you need to do? You need to make your friends. You need to know your neighbors. I've got some great neighbors around me. Tom right next door to me, he is a fantastic neighbor. Elderly fellow, but he is fantastic. I can't say enough about him. God bless him for that. You need to know your neighbors, folks. You need to know get to know somebody, because if they keeping you 6 feet apart, they don't want you to talk to them. They don't want you to do what we're doing right now. This is probably going to be outlawed sooner or later, being out talking about this stuff. What I'm doing right now, it may be down to that beat. You can't talk about certain things on YouTube right now because the algorithms and the AIs are always listening. If you say the wrong words in the right fashion, your stream is gone, period. So, just be careful.
It's sad, man. We're living in the most censored times ever, and the truth is being buried, and you look like a horrible person for even digging for it. It's really sad. I just had my oracle read by Gemma Jade literally like 15 minutes ago, and I had the rebellion card pulled, and man, she was just so spot on with everything that she was saying, how we're coming to a time that you have to make hard decisions, and it's not romantic to be the rebellion. It's you're spit on, you're looked at like you're a bad person, and definitely I'm used to it, man. I've fought for the truth for, I don't know, the past decade of my life, and I've lost a lot of friends, and a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm fighting for the soul. I got the Creator on my side. So I feel like if you're on the opposite side of the fence, then good luck, because I'm coming with everything I got. And I have the power of God and the power of the Creator and the power of everybody behind me. Even if you're against me, that's still, your soul is still with me. And that's what I'm fighting for.
All right. Well, there you go. As always, I'm just impressed with the level of the enthusiasm and just sheer energy that's just leaking off of you. I don't think that's an act, folks. You need a bottle of whatever you got or whatever you're drinking or your diet and just post it and say, this is what I do. Holy cow.
Yes, no microwave foods, lots of juice, lots of ganja, and lots of open thoughts. And guys, I don't even know like the order of the sun, the moon, the eclipse, all that, the fake planets. I don't know any of that. I don't know a lot of common stuff because I've totally programmed my body to forget that. And I try to just cuss out the static and try to keep the positivity. But of course, it's an everyday struggle, because this world will break you down and make you feel so vulnerable and insecure. And especially my thoughts are really outside what's accepted in the realm. So it has me second guessing myself pretty much every day, but you have to remember that you're bigger than it, and your ideas and your message, it's always going to hit those gatekeepers and those little bumps. And that only just strengthens it, because you just get that synchronicity and you just hear the right things. You meet the right people when you're on your path. And I'm looking so forward to the rest of my path and everybody else's, man. Because if you fall into that sync, great things happen. And a lot of good things have happened this past 12 months. Although the rest of the world feels like it's burning, and I definitely feel that. I feel the static and the aftershocks of it, but you have to find your inner peace, and I'm a hobo, a home body. You can't tell me I'm trespassing really anywhere under the dome. Like I feel at home here, and I'll play by the rules, but some rules are meant to be bent and broken. And I'm the one who's going to be the man in the front with the spear and with the long hair, the crazy guy. I'll be the patsy. I'll be the fall guy. It's okay, because there's a million other people that feel just like me, that just needed that one person, that one spark. A fire just doesn't start. It needs a spark. And I will be that little match. I'll be that thunderbolt, whatever we need, for sure.
That's right. It looks like you got some buddies out there. Flat Rock Booger is giving you a compliment to always be my brother. Don't agree on everything, but yeah. Why, if everybody agreed with everybody, it would always be black and white. You wouldn't have any gray. You wouldn't have any happiness or sadness or anything. It would just be blah. So,
yeah, what would be the point? Our difference is make us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. That's one of the things that I came away from this near-death experience was if everybody did the same exact thing, expected the same exact thing, it would be just gray. There would always be gray. You can be happy or sad or whatever. It's just one of those things, folks. But wow.
We need the ups and downs. But before I hop off, I'm actually about to hop on to Standing Goats Rescue. Donnie Miller, he's having a show about a testimony and also cryptid encounters. And, you know, he's my brother. He's from 15 minutes down the road and has helped me a lot these past few months. So I'm about to pop on there. And I know Flat Rock Booger, I'm glad to hear your name out there. The 24th, October 24th, there's a Bigfoot festival and a Bigfoot race. And me and Flat Rock Booger are going to have a table and just come visit. I'm going to have all my books and a bunch of pictures. And then Flat Rock's going to have his audio that he's been recording, and we're going to be playing it through speakers. So I'm so excited about that. It's just good for the community. And, you know, my loudmouth's going to be out there with everybody. And I'm definitely going to make a video of the day, but I just love the real life experiences. And Sean, you already know this is definitely not an act. I might act. You know, I've been in theater and I'm in movies, but this is not an act. This is who I am. I live, breathe, and speak energy. We are all energy, but I just choose to make mine loud and bright just to try to wake up the rest of us. And sometimes I need my downtime. You know, I definitely get it. But man, I know it's my responsibility to inspire and to create. And I hope, you know, censorship is going a long way, and I think they're going to turn out the lights on us and the power. But I hope the Fahrenheit 451 firemen are worried about my books in the future, and they're like, we need to burn those. That might start a revolution. And they're going to come to try to shut down Chasing the Truth's radio station. They're going to have files on the audio in the bunkers, man. That's what people are going to go after in 20 years. They're going to be like, we need that Owlman Chasing the Truth episode. Oh, and every episode. But, man, that Owlman episode is awesome.
Yeah, I've heard a whole lot about that. But, yeah, I've got one question for you. Dark Woods asked, I wonder if this caller dreams with that much energy.
Oh, yeah, man. I have a dream journal, and my dreams are crazy. I'm from Ohio originally, and now I live in Florida, and, you know, road tripped across America and lived out my car. But I have so many dreams going back to my grandparents' farm and my old home, and it's just like puts me at so much peace. And there's this huge canyon full of water that my dreams have been taking me to recently, and I'm just like stumped, man. I'm so scared of heights in the dreams because you're so vulnerable and you can't even run, you can't even move the right way. And I always feel I'm like in the wrong position, but it keeps bringing me back. So I'm trying to figure out those answers. So yes, the dreams, the psychedelic visions, the daydreams, the fever dreams, the cat scratch fever, all of it has this energy. But man, again, if you're on the other side of it, I feel bad because I'm coming with my Air Force Ones down your 2-inch throat. Oh man! And if anybody wants to double check it, search C. Flinna versus Craig Peters. This guy challenged me in an MMA fight long ago. He outweighed me by 20 pounds. I had to pull out the rabbit out of the bag. I did a spinning back fist, shattered his face. He had to get plastic surgery. His mom tried suing me. I'm like, hey, he set up the fight. Nothing I could do. I was protecting myself. And we're good friends now, and he actually became like a pretty well-known boxer. So, oh man, so those dogmen and Bigfoot and gargoyles, if they come at me, I ain't throwing a right bow or anything. I'm pulling out the spinning back fist, and it might leave me with a couple chunks gone, but I think I got a chance.
So you got a Kamehameha.
All right, Sean. I'm fried out now. You can tell. I'm ready. I'm ready to fight Dogman or Bigfoot.
But you're going on another podcast here in just a minute, so you got some reserves on there. So.
Oh yeah, you already know. This is me. It's ups and downs, and it's full of energy, and it's jokes inside the most serious talk. Because it's just one way. It's forward, and I don't care if it's PG rated or G rated or rated R or X. All of them have a little bit of truth. We just need to find it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, God bless you, brother, and I hope that the next day is just as good as today.
Thank you, man. It's always hard to top it, but if we keep getting better and better, that's good. And it's not a lot to ask, just a little bit better. So all of us guys, let's just enjoy the small steps, because we don't have to have big miracles to be happy. Just aim small, and big things will happen over time.
Absolutely. Well, God bless you, and can't wait to hear from you again.
Yes, you will hear from me sooner than later. You already know.
All right, brother. All right. You take care. And
see you, Sean.
All right, see you. Bigfoot.
Legend, too.
I'll just cut you off for just a second. She said, Miss T, see ya. So, there you go. Wow. If you can bottle that energy up, put it in a paste, put it in a cereal box, I bet you would be a billionaire in no time flat. That's just crazy. DW is out in the house. Congratulations, Sean. Holy cow. Well, I wouldn't be here, definitely would not be here if it wasn't for Dark Waters. James, I appreciate you. God bless you for getting me in here. It took a couple times to get me to start doing this, but here I am. Wow. Thank you, sir. God bless you, and I hope everything's going all right with you. I hear that from that live stream you had last night with D. Doss and Vault of Nightmares, did they ever talk you into going out to the hunt for these dogmen? I know you said no, I wouldn't ever go do that. Did they talk you into it or not, or are you still definitely against it? Uh-oh, we got another unscreened caller. Give me just a second to get this unscreened caller on the air here. And on the unscreened caller line, I believe I got Chase on. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Sean?
Not much. Where are you at today? Are you still over in Texas, or are you on the road?
No, I'm in Tuskegee right now, Tuskegee, Alabama. I'm eastbound and down. Got this hammer down and shifting gears, baby.
Keeping it between the mayonnaise and the mustard, huh?
A little bit. I'm getting tired.
All right. Well, just take it easy. Don't get too goofy out there.
No doubt, man. I caught all that energy from Aaron, man. Bigfoot Anonymous, bro.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot Anonymous. You can't.
Bigfoot Anonymous, yeah.
Yeah, he's just. I don't know. I wish I had 1/10 of what he's got.
I don't know. Maybe you should try some DMT.
No, I'll keep away from DMT. But there you go.
Right.
I was
cracking up. I was cracking up when he said he'd be doing some fighting, man. He said he does that spinning backhand. I said, man, that's my move.
Bigfoot Anonymous just said, "What's up, Chase?"
I said, "What's going on? We're gonna link up soon."
Oh yeah, definitely. So, where are you heading to now? I know you're in Alabama. Where are you heading to now?
South Carolina, Columbus, I think.
Just wherever the GPS points you, right?
Basically, man, I have time. Everybody asks me, where you at? I don't even know, man. Everything turns to a blur after a while.
Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things. How many hours you been on the road today, or are you allowed to say now?
Oh, man, I don't give a crap. I probably, I cheated my clock. I can already say that. So I would say I'm somewhere around 14 hours of driving, and I'm almost done though. But I got 30 more minutes. I'm gonna pull over somewhere.
All right. Well, I hope that you have a good rest and get to your destination back home safely.
Heck yeah, man. I got to stop by. I flew out to Texas, so I picked up my stuff in Alabama, and I was naked for a while, so I had to pick up my pew-pews. And finally got my hand. So I bought an elephant rifle about like a month ago. Figured that was gonna be my dog man gun. You know, if I ever run across one, or I need some big some big guns, I got one now.
So you got that in the truck with you? An elephant gun?
Yeah. I ain't even going to exaggerate. I got it with me. I figured why not, man. I was excited about getting it, so I brought it with me so I could just kind of look at it, look up serial numbers, good value on it. But it's a Mauser 416 rim mag, and imagine a 30-30 bullet, and hold your middle finger up. It's as big around as your middle finger, and about as long. It's longer than your middle finger. That's how big that bullet is. Probably it's huge, man.
It sounds like it's about as big as a 50 BMG.
Yeah, I believe it's a little under that, but not by much. I know it's 400. I know it's 400 grains, so that's a heavy hitter.
I wouldn't want to be in front of it.
Lord, no. Nah, I think I've literally seen them like just knock L down before these things just launch L. It's ridiculous. So yeah, they're pretty beastie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow.
Nothing else. Just slow it down. I can get away.
At least put some sort of hole in it. I would put a hole in just about anything.
Yeah, I mean it's not. Shoot, I mean it's made for elephants, so I would hope so.
Oh,
the way Vault talks, man, you're gonna need. I figured. He said his buddy took that one with a 338 Lapua. I said, shoot. I said this right here would be that'd be a pretty good match for that 338.
So has it got a magazine or is it bolt action?
Yeah, bolt action. Clip, like clip bed, bolt action.
Okay.
But yeah, it cycles real good, and the trigger, golly, man, I will honestly say it's the lightest trigger I've ever felt, ever. Like you just touch it, and just the lightest, any movement, it goes off. I'm surprised you when you go to shoot it.
Oh yeah. Wow. I think the biggest thing I've shot myself is a 30-30, and I had a pretty good kick, but I haven't shot anything bigger than that.
Yeah. Can't even be honest with you. I think shot a 7mm. I think 7mm is the biggest I've shot. But we're gonna change all that here soon.
Oh well, there you go. Well, get some more safe to put a couple holes in. How expensive is the shells for that thing?
Oh golly, dude. It's about $100 for 20 rounds.
Damn, that's expensive to go out there and sight it in at least. Get comfortable with it.
I'm gonna have to save up for a while.
Oh yeah, well there you go. Keep on trucking, brother. That's all you can do. Keep on working. Get that bread in there with you.
Man, I got to play catch up. Man, I was off for a month. Golly, I will say though, I was stupid excited to get back in the truck, man. Hear that diesel. Man, I don't know, man. I might have to go buy me a diesel truck now just so I can get that smell every morning. It's like addictive.
Well, there you go. Well, is there any interesting things you've seen on the road or heard a new story in the last few days that you've been back?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard anything. I will say I was on the where was I at? I can't remember where I was at, right? But I was driving and I was passing over one of these little bridges. Like it's like an intersection where the road passes underneath.
Yeah.
So I'm driving and I see a dead animal on the side of the road. It's pretty big. Like it's not it's big. I would say it's a bigger around, but about the height, a little bit higher than a German Shepherd. It was real big, but the fur threw me off. So I seen it was like this real thick, light brown, like coarse looking fur. And I'm like, I didn't know. I couldn't identify when I first passed by. But I seen a little bit of the head, and my mind went straight to like, all right, man, that like. This is something. It was either a bear or something. I wasn't sure. I'm really trying to remember where I was at. I'm pretty sure I was somewhere around north or something. And it was so much that I went down the road. Time is money, but I didn't really care, man. I went down the road, turned around, came back, hit that overpass, pulled off on the side, and then jogged down the road to go look at what it was. And dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no clue what it was. I was sitting there, you know, I was obviously around this little bridge. Traffic was real bad. I have no clue what it was. The fur was thick like a bear, but it looked like a dog. And then immediately I'm looking at the paws. I'm like, this thing got hands, you know? So I went to look at it, but its paw was, you know, almost, you know, inside of your palm, a little bit bigger than that. And
wow.
I don't know what it was, man. But it had a collar. It had one of those big, thick tracking collars, like you know, you would send a coon dog or something like that out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
But it had one of those collars on it, like a real heavy duty one. But it was, I don't know, man. The fur threw me off. The fur looked like a bear, but it looked like a dog. So I really don't know what the hell it was. But the traffic was just too intense, and I didn't want to look crazy dragging a dead body off the roads. So I just jumped back in my truck.
Yep.
I think I took some pictures of it, but it was wild looking.
Well, I'd like to, if you still got did you say you took pictures of it? I'd like to see those pictures.
Yeah, I took a couple pictures. I'm gonna have to go through my phone and look. I think this is about, I want to say it's about 4 months ago that this happened. I totally forgot about it until it just popped in my mind just now.
Well, I know what you done. You know, my mind is barely there sometimes. Most of the time, you know, I don't remember shit. I can't remember shit.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. Hey, listen, man. I gotta tell you, man. I'm really proud of you for that 1,000, dude. And I guarantee you, before we know it, I'm gonna be saying this about the 10,000. You're gonna be there in no time, man.
Well, all I can say is I'll keep at it. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. But we'll see. But I'm happy and I'm proud that 1,000 people actually thought, hey, I'll go ahead and hit that subscribe button for Sean G. So, and you're part of it. You know, you call in just about every other second or third show, and you know, I'm like, wow. He's the one that actually had the 4 or 5 foot walking frog story, and that was just blew me out of the water.
Yeah, that was wild. I've been hearing a few stories just off other channel stuff. Recently, like a lot of people have been mentioning like a frog-looking creature off a few different channels. I don't know if it's one of these newer cryptids that are kind of popping up or what. I don't really know. I've only heard it that one time, and that was wild.
Oh, yeah. Well, last night, somebody was on Dark Waters' live stream was asking about werebears, and I was like, werebears? Where have I heard that? And I was like, I think I heard of a werebear on a cartoon show a long time ago, but that's about it.
Yeah, Care Bears.
Yeah, Care Bears or whatever. I don't know what the hell that was, but yeah, werebears.
Yeah, man. I was so I was coming through Louisiana area when Walt was talking about he was down there around his Six Flags. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I was eyeballing that area. That found me a place to park my truck. I was gonna go down there, man. Just kind of have a peek around.
Yeah, from what he was talking about, that wasn't a place to go.
Yeah, I just wanted to walk down that levee, man. I found a perfect place to park my truck. I could get to that levee. I was like, man, but I'd go during the daytime, you know. Poking around anywhere near it better be like, you know, at least 10 o'clock in the morning, so I got plenty of time to walk down there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I don't know. I might pull a full retard one day. I hope not, but
I don't know. Well, there, you know,
one minute
there's one thing about these things. I don't want to see them. I've never seen them. I've heard enough people that I love and trust that told me, hey, these dogmen, these Bigfoot are real. And that's good enough for me. I don't want any of them around me. Now, if God puts me in their place where I can see it, then I'll take it. But I'm not going to say, hey, I want to see one. You know, I've had plenty of opportunities. And, Vault of Nightmare said, hell, we bring you, I'll take you out there where they're at. I was like, what are you going to do? Bring my, one-legged fat ass out there? I said, yeah, I'll carry you out there in that wheelchair. But no, I honestly, I do not want to see these things. But I'll talk about them all damn day long. Fantastic stories all over the place, and that's one of the reasons I love this Unscreened Open Lines. It's just one of those fun things. You never know who's going to call in.
Heck yeah, I go back and forth on it, man. It's like you know, I sit there and I'm like, yeah, I feel like, you know, you hear all these stories, and let's say, initially it's just like, in my mind, I'm thinking, look, if I accumulate enough stories or whatever and understanding and can get an idea how to react if I ever do come across something like that. And I am in the woods a lot, so I figure, you know, at least I'll be prepared, you know, and have a good idea, and I won't do nothing stupid. So that's why initially I started listening to it. And then that's just that curiosity killed the cat thing always pops up. Like one minute I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll tell somebody, nah, I'm good. I don't really want to see it. I'm good. And then, you know, a little later on, I hear somebody talking about it in the area. I'm like, dude, honestly, like I would go walk around. So I go back and forth. Like, I'm like, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. You know, listen to D. Dawson Vault last night. There's like, yeah, man, they got all excited about it. I was like, all right, well, I'll talk to you afterwards, but I don't want to be out there in the midst of that.
Yeah, I don't know if I won't. I've never had, like, I just, like, me personally, you know, I grew up a redhead, wild, badass, like, just didn't care, fearless, you know, driving motorcycles 100, 150, 160, whatever. Never really cared.
Why in the hell would you do that? These roads ain't made for that.
Dude, I don't know, man. It's something about adrenaline, and me and adrenaline, we have an addiction sometimes. But
well, I get it.
You remember when I first? Yeah, you remember when I first called in? I told you that story about that bite where I nearly died. Basically, like I know an angel basically saved me.
Oh yeah. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts, man. So, yeah, man, this set. I don't know if it's just that adrenaline junkiness in me or what it is. That I don't know, but at the same time, it's like once you see one of those things, and it does put so much fear in you that it like from the way people talk about it, it messes with them for a long time. You know, like physically, mentally, like everything. It just messes with you. It's almost like being possessed by a demon or something. You know, what do you do? You know. So I don't know if I want to ever go through that part of it, or do you need to go through that stage? That way, the next time, you know, if something like that happens, you're more prepared. You know, do you want to do it to be prepared for the future and what's to come? Like, you know, in case they turn these things against us, or if this scripted thing starts really blowing up and getting worse, like obviously the path that it's on now, we're gonna start seeing these things more. You know, do you want to be prepared for that?
Well,
or they shut the system down? You know.
I think we'll start seeing more of these. For whatever reason, I do believe that.
I do too. Now imagine if all this stuff crashes, and a lot of us, we're not going to go a certain route. So we're going to take to what we know, the rural areas, the woods, stuff like that, and we're going to survive off the land. Well, now you could. So do you want to be somebody that's already prepared for that, so that you can lead your family or whatever, or you know, hey, do you want it to be a surprise? So that's why I'm always torn, you know.
I don't know if I wanted it to be a surprise. I've had enough jump scares in my life to say I'm done with jump scares. But that'll be tomorrow. I'll have another jump scare. But yeah, you know, I pay attention. You know, keep your eyes open when you're out and about. You know, that's the best advice I can give you. And definitely look up. That's one of the things we don't do anymore. Everybody's got these little rectangles in their hands. And they never look around and never look up. How many accidents, even when I was in healthcare, you know, I know of several people that had accidents where they weren't looking where they were walking because they were on their fucking phone. Yeah, not to mention driving and texting and shit. So, you know, I'm talking about just being a pedestrian. You know, break a leg, break a nose, you know, get 4 or 5 stitches because you just weren't paying attention where you were putting your feet. Yeah, that's just one of those things. You know, we don't look up. If you looked up, we'd have a lot more UFO reports.
Yeah, that's true. I wish I could get my son to do that. That man, he can't walk to save his life. He'll trip. Jesus Christ, that little boy will trip. I'm not even blaming. He be running around with them Crocs. Listen, you be just you be in wide open grass, no problem. They stay in their face first. Boom. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I think all kids are clumsy. That's how they get around. That's the one cool thing of what God made us. And He made while we're young, made our bones like rubber. It's hard to break a kid's bone. That's for sure. Don't want it to happen, but they're made to bounce back real quick.
Yeah, he's bounced a few times.
Oh yeah. And you kind of wonder, well, think about it. Some of the stuff that your son has gotten into and gotten hurt, and he bounces right back. If you did the same thing, would you be in a hospital?
Yeah, I'd be right there with you in a chair.
Oh yeah, right there you go.
I'm getting old, man.
Well, I'm 51, and I don't feel 51 sometimes, and sometimes I feel decades, centuries older. It just depends on the part of the day I'm in. So
yeah,
one of those things.
I think it just depends on what energy. It depends on what energy drink, what number energy drink I'm on.
What number of coffee I'm on. I think I've had 3 or 4 coffees a day. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Oh yeah. But
right, man, well.
Chase, tell your mother I said howdy, and she needs to call in every once in a while. But here's one thing: YouTube is definitely strong, getting really heavy-handed about talking about the whatever the unknown disease from China. Got to be careful about saying anything about that. Yeah, they get rid of you real quick. But I don't mind talking about that over on my on my server on Discord. That you can talk about that all damn day long. I'll be right there in there with you. But
she got no filter. No. My mom ain't
got no filter. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, there's some people out there like that. God bless them. That's what it's going to take to change this country around. Quit having filters on your freaking mouth. Talk up. Speak up.
Yeah, man, that's true, man. I literally warned her multiple times. Gave her different words to use, and she still let it rip. I'm like, well.
Yeah, you gotta watch out talking about the Coke 45 stuff. That's the only thing that I have to pay attention. Since this is a brand new channel and it's about ready to start under the review, you gotta watch out talking about that stuff. I actually removed a couple more videos when I first started down this road. I dumped a couple of videos because I couldn't remember if I actually said any. I knew I said a couple of things way back when, about a year before all this stuff happened about Coke 45, and I talked about it, and unfortunately, it come to be. I don't know why. Maybe I just had a premonition that I was talking about it, say, hey, this is going to happen. But it's out there, folks, is all I can tell you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want you to know, man, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of this family, man. We got everybody in the chat, dude. It's just it's awesome, and you can tell that one day if stuff does hit the fan, we got people that definitely gonna have our backs in the future. So. Oh yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, well, there's more. The news will sit there and just drown you with despair. There is good people out there, no matter how much they say, hey, stay 6 feet apart. There's good people out there. Don't pay attention to the news. That's what I say about every other show. There's good people out there, absolutely, and there's definitely a lot of people that's been calling in. But Chase, I got another caller here. I appreciate you, and you keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard.
Yes, sir.
All right,
brother. Be safe.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye. All right, Unscreened caller, you are live on Chasing the Truth. Where are you from, and what's your name?
Yeah, hi. This is Lee Roberts. I'd gotten a contact from a producer that had written a story that I'd conveyed in Reddit and wanted to know if I would be available to tell about it on the show.
Well, it's live and unscreened. If you want to tell it, go for it. Where are you from, Robert? Your name's Robert, right?
Lee Roberts.
Lee Roberts. Okay, Lee. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Eastern portion of West Virginia. And this is something that happened to me 11, 12 years ago. I'm 64 years old now. I was 52, 53. And most certainly paranormal in nature. Briefly, it was a Saturday evening. I was driving out to my son-in-law and daughter's home, which is pretty far out in the sticks, very dark, and but very beautiful. And so I pulled in the evening. I was taking them something out, and so I got out of the car, and they had automated yard lights that came on, but the yard lights weren't on, so that made it even more dark. So I got out of the car to walk across the lawn to go into their home, and I really couldn't see my hand in front of my face. I knew there was a swing set off to my right with my granddaughters, but I wasn't near that. So anyway, I took about, I don't know, 7-10 steps into the yard, and I know that maybe even yourself and a lot of listeners are aware of, even when you're in the dark, that like God gave us almost like a sixth sense, which like a lot of times there will be something in your way, but you can't see it, but you kind of feel something's there.
Right.
And that's kind of how it was. I felt like I was getting ready to walk into something, and I thought, I'd better be careful here. That might be one of the grandkids' yard toys or something. So I just came to an abrupt halt. I remember I just stopped immediately because I felt like I was going to run into something. Well, when I did that, I looked out to the far end of the yard, kind of at a diagonal position around the end of my daughter's home. And I saw what I can only describe as a figure that looked solid, but looked inordinately tall, and it looked like it was standing still, but after a couple of seconds, it appeared as if it were coming diagonally across the yard toward me, and I could see it from an illumination from inside their home, where their bathroom and bedroom lights were shining out in the yard. And so as it came toward me, it was coming at a pretty good speed.
Right.
And I didn't attempt to run, and I didn't attempt to move left or right, because I remember at the time I was just standing there going, what the hell's that? And anyway, by the time that I even thought about doing anything, this thing was on top of me, and about a foot away from appearing as if it was going to smack into me head on, it made a sharp left and went within 8 to 10 to 12 inches to my left, right past me.
Right.
And this is what I saw when it went past me. I'm 6 feet 3 inches tall, 75 inches. This thing was topped off at about 8 feet. It was not straight up. It was at a 45-degree angle, leaning forward, and it went past me in, let's say, 1001. Okay, and it was past me. But in that 1 second, I turned my head and I saw what appeared to be a soiled, long, dark brown cloth robe that was complete with a hood. The hood came out over the head so far you couldn't make out any facial features.
Mm-hmm.
And it went directly past me, never acknowledged me, and went beyond me down into this open field. I turned and I watched it, still at this high rate of speed, go down toward where there was a one-lane road, and across the one-lane road was a single trailer sitting with an outside light on. So I tried to see its silhouette in that light that was in the background, but I never saw it go in front of that light. I just saw it go directly down into this field. So when that happened, I turned around and surprisingly, I wasn't shook. I guess maybe shock in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to walk back into, I just started walking toward my daughter's house again, anxious to tell them what had happened. I took 3 steps and then the yard lights came on. So I went inside, told them, my son-in-law went in the back, and then my daughter leaned into me and she said, "Don't say anything about that kind of stuff around Doug because he gets real spooked about it." And I said, "Okay." They hadn't been married that long. And so I'll take a pause there if you'd like.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, I gave her the box that I had taken her out to take, and asked her to ensure that to take off the trigger and make sure that the yard lights were on, because I told her I'd almost stepped on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out, got in the car, and I had to drive for about 10 minutes, still in a fairly remote area. But then you come back into the town pretty quickly. And as soon as I did, there was a sheet store and, you know, a lot of lights. And I pulled in and I just parked. And I sat there for probably about 20 minutes. And I didn't have a breakdown, and I didn't freak or anything. But I realized that I had to kind of get what just occurred organized in my head before I headed home with my wife and everything. I had to get my act together because the longer I drove, the harder it was for me to dismiss what had just happened. And so I got home, and later on that evening, I went to bed. Well, the next morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. It was 5 o'clock on the nose. And I woke up very alert, which was unusual for me at even 52, 53. Now it's damn near impossible. But
So you had
anyway.
grenade. You had a grenade reaction to seeing this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Precisely. And but I woke up very, very clear-headed, very alert, and it was a beautiful summer morning. The sun was starting to come in through the slats, and so I sat up on the edge of the bed and was rubbing my face, and I really had not even started to think about the events of the evening before. Well, as I was sitting on the edge of the bed, all at once, this low, slow drone of a horn or a cornet, definitely a trumpet type instrument, started up in the right-hand corner of the room. The room was small. The corner was only about maybe 8 to 10 feet away from me to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And the horn built up in volume, and I'll attempt to do it. It was this was just it. And it was a single note. It wasn't a Louis Armstrong thing or anything. It was just it was a solid, and it got very loud, and then it cut off. Now, the very first thing I was aware of was that it wasn't outside. It wasn't from another room. You know, as I do and as all people do, you can make a certain judgment by acoustics. And the acoustics of the room just told me immediately that the sound came from the room. The proximity of the sound was just like someone sitting on the edge of the bed doing it. So, believe it or not, I got up and I went through the entire day and never said a word to anyone about what had happened the night before. And I said nothing about the horn that I heard that morning.
Okay.
Why? Because I hadn't totally processed it yet, and I was afraid. I was afraid that everybody would start raising their eyebrows, wondering what's going on with the old man. And so before I presented this to someone, I wanted to give it its full follow through on my own. So lo and behold, that evening, this was Sunday now, I turned on the TV, and The Untouchables was on. Kevin Costner, Sean Connery. That was a really big fave of my dad and I. And my dad was, I gave my dad a call. He lived about 45 minutes away, where my childhood home. And so I called him. I said, "Hey, The Untouchables are on," and da 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 da. And so him and I got talking for a while. Him and I never talked about things like paranormal or UFOs or things like that. It's just that wasn't his cut or mine. And so anyway, I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to recount something to you that happened to me this morning." I wasn't even going to say a word to him about what had happened the night before out at my daughter's. But I said, "I'd like to tell you about something that happened to me this morning." And I went to start, and he said, "Well, wait a minute. He said, "I'll tell you what. You tell me what happened to you this morning." He said, "And then I'll tell you what happened to me this morning." And I said, "All right." So I told him about the horn. And he said, "Well, let me tell you what happened to me last night." His wife, my mom, had died years before. So my stepmom was away, and Dad was up at the house by himself. So he said at about 3:40 in the morning, he heard the doorbell ring. And he said, but the doorbell rang odd. I know this. We built the house up there in 1960. And if you push the doorbell a certain way, you can, in the old ones, you could push it in slightly, and that's the way it would reflect. That's the way it would ring when it sounded in the home. It would be kind of a weak ring. But then you could push it in halfway and it would only do one chime. But then if you pushed it in all the way, it would do two chimes. Okay. So he said 2 times he laid there and he heard it ring the way we used to when I was a kid, you know, when you just barely push in on it, very weak. And so he said, he told me this and he was dead quiet. And I said, well, who was at the door? And he paused and he said, I don't know. He said, I never got up. I said, you didn't get up to see who it was? And he said to me, hell no. And I could hear fear in his voice. That was the first time in my life I'd ever heard fear in the voice of my dad. And so anyway, we talked some more and we kind of laughed it off, but I hung up and I said to my wife, I said, what in the hell are the chances of events like that happening to my dad and I in the same morning? You know, it wasn't synchronized as far as time goes, but it was odd that because I almost didn't say anything to him about the horn. And if I hadn't, I would never have known about what he had went through, because 4 or 5 days later, he died. I got a call from my stepsister telling me that he had passed. And at 78 years old, he hadn't been ill. It was sudden. And so
you think this might have been a harbinger, possibly, between your dad and yourself, that this was an upcoming event?
I do. I didn't at the time, but I've had 11, 12 years to think on it. And I've came up with all kinds of stuff, but that is the one constant that, and I don't even know if the sound of the horn and the doorbell on his end and the sound of the horn at my end, that I could isolate as a harbinger. Now, the one thing that made me start to think about this a bit and incorporate the event that occurred the night before was the fact that my dad and I both had the exact same name. Identical name, other than me being Junior. We were of the same weight. We were of the same height. People used to say we were looked like identical twins of different ages. There was a strong resemblance between him and I.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been able to help but sit back and think to myself, why did this damn thing charge across me at the yard that night? And then at the very last few inches, veer off and then go right past me. It was like, and then if you think about when that happened, because that was like at about 8:45, 9 o'clock at night, then at 3:45 a.m. and about 5.5 hours later, he had those rings at his doorbell 45 minutes away. And then at 5 a.m. in the morning, I got the horn. And I can't help sometimes but not shake from myself that if this was some kind of harbinger of death, if this was actually some kind of creature like I saw, and I saw it,
Okay, I've got one question. Well, maybe a couple questions about this cloaked figure. Did you hear this thing? Well, did it make any sounds while it was rushing past you in 1 second?
I remember a rustle, but it wasn't like a flag rustling in the wind. It was more like a sizzling sound. It would be more like maybe the sound of maybe more like the sound of bacon sizzling slow, combined with a deeper sound, almost like maybe pulling a large blanket taut, one person on each side of a blanket, and then pulling it real tight and taut to where it makes a deep kind of snapping sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the sound that it was. I got the impression.
Were your hair, was the hair on the back of your neck on end, or did you smell anything weird like ozone or some foul smell or sweet smell?
No, but I didn't. There was no smell. I didn't have a fear reaction the way you would, like you said, like where your hair raised up on end.
Mm-hmm.
I had there was a reaction for a split second of just complete helplessness. It was kind of like, this is going to sound strange, but this is what I felt. Before it was even up on me, when I saw it coming across the yard, I didn't move. I told you that earlier, but it wasn't out of fear. At least I don't think it was out of fear. And it wasn't out of some magical power that caused me to stand in place. It was just that it happened so quick. I mean, this thing went from the end of the yard and it was right up on me. And I really didn't have time to process everything. I think that's what the thing was when I pulled into the sheet store. Mm-hmm. When I went into my daughter's, I was really trying to put on a brave face. When I tried to tell her about it, she really shushed me because of her husband, who was very sensitive to stuff like that. And so my only opportunity to really kind of contemplate all this was to get up the road and pull over to the sheet store and sit for a while and let it sink in. But I smelled nothing. I had no visceral reaction on my body. It's just that I felt when it passed, and then it left. That's when I felt like I was free to kind of walk on into my daughter's house. And I only took about 3 or 4 steps, and the outside lights, the sensor lights clicked on.
Okay. So everything was sort of like a grenade reaction. You saw it, and it took a minute for you to, more than a minute, a few moments, for you to register what's going on. When did you feel any fear with this afterwards?
I felt fear. No, I didn't feel fear.
Okay.
I know that I should say I felt fear, but I didn't feel fear. And I think it's because of the fact that when this thing passed me, when it came right up on me and it passed me, there was an overwhelming feeling when it passed me, that when it passed me and it left me, that when it was like, I'm done with you. You are not what it is that I was after. In other words, the movement of it coming at me and then moving away, there was a finality to that. And I could feel the finality of it. The only thing that ever even got me starting to think about the ramifications of all of this was the death of my dad 5 days later, and the things that we shared with each other the next night, as far as what he experienced up at the house and what I'd experienced the next morning at my house.
All right.
And, and then it gets kind of silly because you sit back and go, well, what does this mean? Does this mean that the Grim Reaper has a list of people's names and he screwed up on the name, and at the last second he realized he had the wrong Robert, da 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 da. And, he realized that. And then when he realized that he had messed up, then he devoted the evening to finding the right one. And what would have happened if Dad would have gotten up and answered the door that night? When he would have went out to and answered the door, is that when he would have dropped dead? Well, he didn't get up and answer the door, so we'll never have an answer to that. And then I can't help but think sometimes that 5 days later, when I wasn't around, that this figure caught up with me. And so it's those kind of things that over the passage of time that you start thinking about.
Right. Got a couple of questions, mainly from chat. Sheila wants to know, how tall was this thing? You said it was dressed in a dark brown cloak with a hood over it. How tall was it?
I would estimate 8 feet.
8 feet?
I'm 6 feet 3 inches. I'm 6 feet 3 inches tall, and I was standing upright, and this thing was tilted forward. In other words, it wasn't running, it wasn't walking, and it wasn't flying the way you would picture Superman, where he's totally out vertical. This thing was tilted forward. This thing was at a 45-degree tilt forward, but yet it was moving at a high rate of speed. And probably if I would have looked down at its feet, it wasn't even touching the ground. But it was enough that I looked at it, that I had time later to think about it and went, well, if that thing would have decided to stop next to me and would have went out of its 45 degree and stood upright, it would have been at least 8 feet in height.
So what I'm imagining is this thing was running so fast it was almost like falling forward, kind of looking as it was running, or however it was floating.
It didn't give the impression when it was coming at me across the yard that it was leaning forward at a 45-degree angle. It gave me the impression that it was coming at me straight up. It wasn't until it veered off at the last moment and shot to my left that I looked and I realized, well, okay, it's leaning forward and moving, and it was moving very controlled. It didn't look like somebody that would be running and then lean forward and be awkward in doing it. It looked like it had its arms down to its side, and that it was in a perfect, if you want to put it this way, in an almost diver-like position, like a diver getting ready to execute, a spring. And but it was, again, it wasn't straight out horizontal, but it wasn't vertical. It was in between, and it was moving at a really high rate of speed. And but I don't know. I guess it's probably the same thing like a lot of people experience in a car accident, where everything slows down in your mind. When it went past me, even though it only took like a second or so, I was able to see the makeup of the cloth that this robe or whatever it was made of. I could see that it was soiled, oily soiled, dirt soiled. I made that out. And I also made out the oversized hood that obscured the face. But I saw no hands. I saw no feet. There is one thing I'd like that I didn't mention. This thing was extremely thin. It was, well, this might be a good time of year to make the comparison. At the stores now, they're selling corn stalks that you can tie off to your post at home and things like that. It was cinched around the waist, almost like a corn stalk. And so whatever was to it, it was extremely thin.
You can like
and
it
I didn't,
was
I didn't
like
see
it was
I
robed,
didn't see it holding
like a robed
it was robed.
skeleton.
It was a robe.
Robed
it was
skeleton.
like a robed skeleton. Yeah,
Okay.
except I saw no bones. And but for it to be that thin, it would have to be skeletal in nature, I would believe.
Wow, or somebody that's exceptionally emaciated, but I wouldn't think that they would have the ability to actually run at any kind of pace. So yeah.
I never witnessed any running.
Oh, it was just floating. Okay, all right, there you go. The morning that you heard the sirens or the whatever that alarm
Horn.
was, the horn.
A single horn, an instrument.
Okay. And did you mistaken that for a doorbell or anything like that? Could that have been a doorbell?
No, I know the sound of trumpets and cornets because I played them. I played trumpets, cornets, and I've played various musical instruments. And the acoustical signature that an instrument, a wind instrument of that type, gives off, if you're in an enclosed room, it's very distinct. And the sound wasn't distant, and the sound wasn't ethereal, or it wasn't ghostly. It literally just sounded like someone in the corner of the room that I couldn't see that decided that they were going to start a low single note blow on the horn, and then carry it through for several seconds and bring it up to a certain volume and then stop.
There is a phenomenon called sky sounds or sky trumpets. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am. I've been seeing several reports of that on television.
Would that be likened to that, or was even close to that?
No, because those sounds, I've listened to them pretty extensively, because as you can imagine, ever since this event happened, I've been reading and I've been listening. I've been looking anywhere to give me some kind of something comparable. And the sky trumpets, they are loud, but they always occur, it seems like, in an open sky area, or at least in a forested area. It's generally something that large groups of people hear. This sound of this trumpet or this cornet was very, what's the word I want to use? Was very intimate. Very intimate. meant only
Okay.
for me, or meant only for not to go any further than the confines of that room.
Wow. Got one question from One Man Band. Wants to know: are you an Aboriginal, Native American, or anything of that heritage?
Yes, I am. My grandfather was a full-blood Choctaw Cherokee.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, One Man Band is an Aboriginal as well, so I guess he recognizes how you tell stories, or get that feeling. It's interesting.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
One of the things that I say in the background with Wes, my producer,
Yes.
I said I always, talking to One Man Band, which is Aboriginal. I've talked to a couple other Aboriginals up in Canada, and they have such a unique and rare. It's rare to talk to these people because it's against the way they were brought up to talk about these things. So I always said, hey, if you ever do get a chance to come across anybody that's Aboriginal or heritage that wants to tell a story or two, I'm all for it because it's rare to actually get these folks on here and talk about. There's a lot of people out there that are Aboriginal that talk, but it's rare to get them to actually do it on air. Yeah, that's.
I was very hesitant as well, but this has almost been a purging for me because I don't have any answers to it. It was a series of events that just came out of the blue, and I didn't even attach any of the events together until quite a while after my dad had passed. And then I started putting A and B and C together, and not saying that they are together, but the older I get and the more I look back on it, there's some connectivity to it, and I don't know what it is, and I probably never will know until after I pass.
All right. That's interesting. Hey, can you hold on just for a second? I got actually the gentleman that was just on One Man Band on the other line. Let's get him in here and see if he wants to talk.
Oh, sure, you bet.
All right, hold on just a second. One Man Band, you're part of the show now. What's going on? Just talk to you.
Hey, yeah, man. So let me ask you this: what color was that? The I guess the robe that this thing was wearing?
It was a it was a clay brown. It was a dark brown that almost seemed to have some lighter grays through it, but it was very soiled, and I don't mean like if somebody had smeared dirt on it, but it was soiled from the standpoint of dirty, like oily. The way clothing gets after it's worn for long periods of time.
It seems like that sounds like game skin, so like hide. I think I know what it is. I haven't really ever. This is something that I'll let anyone do their research. The Cherokees, it's called a raven mocker.
A raven mocker.
Yeah. What those? You said so. The doorbell rang at your dad's house.
Yes, 2 times.
Is that? He didn't answer the door, did he?
No, he didn't, because you see, our house is very remote. It's not the kind of place a next door neighbor would walk across or something. We really lived out in the sticks. So if somebody rang your doorbell at 3:40 in the morning, then that was odd. But the one thing that he emphasized was that the doorbell was pushed lightly, because when you push it lightly, it gives off a certain ring in the house. If you depress it in all the way, then you get the full 2 about 5-8 minute double chime. But this was just like a thing where you push it in lightly, like we used to when I was a kid, and then it would just do a very light single sound chime.
Because I'll tell you, I have a story. When my grandma passed, what a ravenmocker is. It's a creature. It's about 8 foot tall, and it wears that similar garb that you mentioned, that you saw. What it does is someone that, and this is, like I said, I don't really like giving out this type of information. This is some pretty inside baseball stuff, but I'll say it, especially, man, I got the shakes kind of when I started hearing it, when you started describing it, because I've heard it 2 stories. It's not talked about that I've heard. I've talked to Creeks, Muskogees, Cherokees. I've talked to Osage. I've talked to Kiowas.
Yeah, my granddad was from Osage County in Oklahoma.
Okay. So that tells me right there everything I need to know. What this thing does is it tries to extend its life by using people that are dying that don't know they're dying.
Which is why he was ringing my dad's doorbell.
That could be the reason why, and that's the reason why you heard the trumpet, because it could be something was telling you that, hey, there's going to be something that's going to happen. That is the same type of scenario that happened when my grandma passed. She's full-blood Cherokee. Similar type situation. Now, no one saw the garb. You hardly ever see these things. Sometimes, I've heard a story about you seen them at a funeral, waiting, or at a funeral home, waiting for the family to leave. But yeah, man, your story is literally. I mean, I got the shakes, and I could feel it off my neck. I haven't heard a story like that since I was, probably early college days. Wow, that's a. You got a good one, and I 100% believe you, because the details that you gave, man, that's some details that we don't really talk about. I didn't like that I hadn't shared that, but that story moved. It's the details with the doorbell. He didn't answer it, but then the horn that was warning you was telling you, hey, something's going to happen, and it's almost like it's in the room, but it's not in the room type thing.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Yeah. The
wow.
one thing that with this particular story, I have talked about the shadow creatures, shadow people that I've seen in the hospital, and I always associated when I saw a shadow, whatever, as a harbinger of death. Literally, every time I seen one, I'd find a body or have to code somebody. I probably a good 7-8 times. Definitely. Saw a few while I was not on the code team and was not able to respond, but I saw a few shadows that would go past my office in the middle of the night, and next second you hear Code Blue blaring over the speakers. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, that sounds exactly like what I heard, or pretty close to what I seen.
Oh, you worked in a hospital?
Yeah, I was a respiratory therapist for many years, and then I broke over and started doing sleep studies, and wound up managing and being a regional manager over about 6 sleep labs for a while. And then, I had to retire because of reasons. No, actually, I lost my left leg. Left leg.
Understood.
Yeah, lost my left leg. So.
Understood.
So it's just one of those things. And one of my buddies in the chat here, Dragon ZW, I'm sure he's probably got a few stories that could back up what we've been talking about. He's always talking about shadow people and things in the hospital that he has seen and currently sees, and whenever he goes back and goes in the hospital. But wow, Lee, have you seen anything at all that looks like these things or heard this horn since then?
No.
Yep, and that's usually how it is. You hear it one time. That's why this is a story hit me so deep, because it reminds me of my grandma. That similar thing. She was, she was dying, and they heard a knock on that door, and they heard a noise and it was outside exactly where she was staying at, where she was at in the house. That's why, man. I knew exactly when you said that. And then you described him as being kind of a frail, like skinny, really, really skinny, with the deer skin or with the hide type cloak.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, yep, I know exactly what that is. And your dad. That's a tough thing to lose. And that's one thing about our people, man, is I don't understand things. I hear things. I don't understand everything that I've ever heard, and we may never. But I've been told that, like I said, about 3 times that I've had one experience of my own with my grandma. That same similar thing. The doorbell rang, or the door was knocked on, and you heard this noise. And it wasn't mine. Or my dad told me it wasn't a horn. It was something different. It was like a different sound. But each person's is different, obviously. It's something that's related to you. But Lee, man, great story, man. I'm gonna get off here and let you finish your call. I had to ask you those 3 questions so I could solidify kind of what I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thank you so much, and both of you so much, because I'd put this to pen and paper almost as a catharsis, but I didn't realize how different it would be to actually talk to someone about it, because this is the first time I've ever sit down and talked about it to anyone other than just write it down. So this has been very helpful.
Well, thank you, Lee, for actually picking this show to share that unique story. That's interesting. And One Man Band, always. Well, you're just one of those great callers, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Congratulations on your 1,000th subscription.
Well, it keeps on going. There goes One Man Band. Appreciate him calling in. Honestly,
1,001. I just subscribed.
Well, there you go. Well, I got 1,050. It hasn't refreshed yet, but there
we go.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you just subscribing. With this cloaked figure, honestly, that was one of the things I've talked about. I don't know how many times on this show. Over the last, I've been doing it since late 2018. I probably told the same story a dozen times easy. And seeing these black, dark figures just run, mine didn't have any static or anything. It was completely silent. Actually, one just ran by me, and I was almost like, why didn't I feel the air off that thing? It was so close. Didn't hear any damn thing.
I felt no air. No air.
Yeah, it was so close that it ran by, and I was like, what the hell was that? I looked back, then it's passed me on my left, and the next thing I knew was like, oh my God. Let's see, I've got another caller. You want to stay on? Hold on just a second. Let's see what this caller's all about. See if they've got anything. Okay, Unscreened caller, you are on the air. What's your name and where are you from?
Hey Sean. Chris from Elmira, Michigan.
Okay, we've got Lee telling us about his cloaked death sort of figure. So what do you got? You got something to ask, or you got an additional story that goes along with this?
No, I actually called. I just started listening a couple minutes ago. I heard what you guys were talking about, but it made me think of a story. I have a near-death experience story.
Okay. All right. Well, Lee, do you want to hang on and listen to this gentleman? What's your name again, sir? I'm sorry.
No, I'll go. Chris. I'll go ahead and sign off now. But I will be tuning in the future.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Lee. God bless you. And I hope that you don't see that thing again. But I appreciate
God
you, brother.
bless you, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.
All right. Wow. Now, this is Unscreened Open Lines Gold, folks. This is why I do this stuff. So, okay. Chris, what you got with a near-death experience? I'm a near-death experiencer myself.
I've been listening to your shows since somewhere close to the beginning, since you started.
Wow.
Absolutely love your channel.
Well, thank you.
This happened to me down in Flint, Michigan. Probably I'd have to say 6 years ago. I had a really bad drug problem for about 20 years. I've been clean for a year and almost 3 months now.
Oh, congratulations! That is an accomplishment.
Thank you.
That's definitely an
Yes,
accomplishment.
it is, especially after 20 years of
That's a hell of a thing to have on your back for that long.
I know.
Congratulations. God bless you. I hope that the days ahead are brighter and better.
Oh, they are, man. My life is completely different these days. There was a time where I didn't care about myself. I was on the verge of suicide most days. Just my life I was in a very dark place for a long time. And down in Flint, I lived down there for about 6 years. My wife's family was from there, and we ended up moving down there. I ended up losing my house to foreclosure due to drugs, and so we moved down there to take care of her mom. And we took our drug problems with us. Wherever you go, there you are. And there was an incident where we got some dope, and there was a shed in the backyard that we used to sneak off to and get high. And we had a little bed out there, and just a little spot where you could sneak off and get high. Anyways, we ended up copping some dope and going back there. And first shot I put in my arm. I went out, and I saw a kaleidoscope of lights. There was a gigantic, like a vortex, like a giant tunnel of light. And this is really crazy because I had 1 foot over. It was almost like a threshold. Like I was stepping over this threshold. I had 1 foot through this light tunnel, and I felt someone grab my arm. And when I turned around, my dead grandpa, who'd been dead for a decade, my dead grandpa was standing there with the dirtiest look on his face, the most disappointed look I had ever seen, that I could ever remember on his face. He was looking at me with the most disappointed look. And the next thing I know, I woke up and I was getting put on the stretcher, and the paramedics and the cops were in the shed. And as they were wheeling me out to take me to the ambulance, I could still see my grandpa. My grandpa was in the shed, standing behind the paramedics and the cops with the same dirty look on his face.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no problem whatsoever believing that. You know, there has been so many people where I've been in healthcare that literally I've had family that's seen people that you can't see there, but they obviously can and talk to them. So I have no doubt that you've seen this. So what exactly do you think that your grandfather coming visiting was trying to convey to you other than a dirty look?
He was letting me know that he's giving me this one get out of jail free card, and he's not happy about it, and that I better make the best of this free guy, this one up that I got.
Right.
That was the look. That was what I conveyed from that, because I would have just thought maybe it was just something that you see when you're, in and out of consciousness or whatever was going on, because they told me that I was dead. They told me that I wasn't breathing. I was gurgling. I was doing the death rattle, like I was gone. I remember, and when I woke up, I was freezing cold. Like it felt like I had just crawled out of a grave. That's how cold I was. It was unbelievably. I've never felt anything like that in my entire life. That type of cold, like the cold of death.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I came back from my near-death experience. I felt frozen.
You felt cold?
I felt frozen down to my bones.
Like a cold you've never known.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I've been cold. I've been to the point where I've got a little frostbitten, but not that cold.
No, this is like a otherworldly, other dimensional type of cold that, like, your soul is cold almost. Right. Is what it felt like. That's how I conveyed it. Just like my essence was, like I came from somewhere else. Like I came from somewhere I shouldn't have been. Is how I felt. And honestly, I when I woke up, I kind of thought that I was seeing things until I noticed him standing there in the shed with the same look on his face. He was standing at the back of the shed. He was behind everybody, and still staring at me with that look. I'll never forget the look on his face. It's burned into my mind. Absolutely burned in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So what has changed about you other than, been sober for a year and a few months, 3 months? What else has changed about you? Your outlook on life is better, I'm sure. Are you more, I wouldn't say religious. Are you closer to God? No.
Yes, I am. My outlook has changed, Sean. I no longer want to die. I absolutely want to live.
Awesome.
100% want to live. I don't want to die anymore. I'm not suicidal. I have hope today. I'm doing so much better, man. If somebody would have told me a couple of years ago, if somebody would have told me that my life could be this good by just putting in the hard work to change my life and get clean and go to rehab and do what I need to do, if somebody would have told me that my life could be this good, I would have told them they were a fucking liar. Sorry, excuse my French.
That's all right.
Yep, I wouldn't have believed it, but I did it, and it did change me because I thought it was crazy. My dad was really, really close with his dad, and when I told him the story, he was absolutely floored. He couldn't believe it. He was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, Dad. Grandpa saved me. He saved me because I had 1 foot through this tunnel, this light tunnel. I had 1 foot, like I was stepping over a small little wall or something, and I felt someone grab my arm. Right. And when I turned around, my grandpa was standing there."
So when your dad heard this, did he say, "Yeah, that sounds like my dad"?
Oh yeah. My grandpa loved me and my brother so much. I have an identical twin, and my grandpa loved us. He loved us so much, and we loved him too. He was an awesome grandpa. I couldn't ask for a better grandpa.
Yeah, well, God, holy cow. What a story to share, Chris. I appreciate you sharing that. I wish and pray for nothing but the best for you in the easier times. You can't go through that and not be in awe just hearing about that story. That is amazing. And
Thank you.
I hope and pray that tomorrow is even better. Sounds like it's going to be.
Thank you, Sean. Oh, yeah, absolutely. My life is great now. I've completely turned it around. I made a believer out of a lot of people that didn't think I could pull it off, and I did.
Well,
and I'm a better man. I'm a better man for it, and I 100% believe in God, and I have faith that with enough love in your heart, and just being a good person and being kind and just putting good energy out there in the world,
right.
you will reap what you sow, and you will get back what you put in.
Are you in the YouTube chat? I had a couple of people ask about that.
Yep. Yeah, Chris Brissett.
Oh, okay, Chris. I appreciate you being on there, man. That is a hard, folks, I can honestly tell you, that's, telling this, I don't know if it's cathartic or if it just, I got to tell this story or whatever, and I appreciate Chris for finding the courage to say, hey, I've done this. This is what I've done. Let's see. How were you that close to your grandfather when beforehand? You said that I got one question from the chat. Were you really close with your grandfather from your perspective? Chase want to know.
Yes, absolutely. I was really close with my grandpa, and when he died, I was actually living in Washington. I was living out in Puyallup, Washington, when he passed away, and I flew back to Bay City for the funeral. And yeah, I was devastated because he was a great man. He was a World War II vet. He worked in the medic tent on Saipan. He was just a great dude. Great. He was a really good man. An even better grandpa.
Oh, that was great. Well, I can't. Wow. It's hard to actually come up with words to say how impressed I am with you and how grateful to God that you're still here to actually say these things. If anybody's out there struggling, Chris is proof that you can come and get across that mountaintop. Definitely.
Oh yeah, man. And I'm not gonna lie, Sean. I was bad. I was like textbook bad drug addict, the kind where you were just gonna write me off and be like, well, I don't expect him to make it past such and such age. But I started looking at it like this. I'm 40 years old now, man, and I'm too damn old to be doing that bad.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, you can come to an age and you're just like, dude.
I was 40.
Like, come on.
I was 46, and I was always telling myself when I do some stupid shit, literally, I would say, I'm too old to be doing this stupid shit. And it took me losing a fucking leg to get straight. Get to the, I was an alcoholic. I was a terrible alcoholic. And God said, hey, buddy, you need to pay attention to me. And you ain't paying attention to me one way or other, I'm going to take your leg. And that's what it took. So here I am.
Thank you for sharing that, Sean.
Oh,
I'm serious. Wow, that's amazing.
And I absolutely,
proud
it's not a belief in God. I know God is real. That's not a belief. It's not something to say, hey, I kind of think God's here. No, God is right here in front of me. He's closer than the skin on the back of my hand. Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yep, agreed. Thank you for letting me come on. I'm gonna make it short because I gotta go to bed here and gotta get up early for work. But thank you so much for listening and letting me share that.
Well, Chris, thank you for calling in, buddy. That was an amazing story, and hope that tomorrow is even better for you.
Thank you, Sean. You have a blessed night, my brother.
You too, brother. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, folks. That's Chris. Wow. Now, how can you... this is what Chasing the Truth is all about. This is what Unscreened Open Line's about. I didn't vet any of these folks out, but why would you want to vet these things out? So he's a one-man band, 97 people in chat. If you haven't said anything in chat, say something. Yeah, go ahead, say something. Wow. And this is the reason that I do this. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely respect for Chris. Chris, that was amazing. Mongolian Monster. I want to be on record. Thank you, brother, for having that live stream and doing that favor for me. You got me over the hump for that 1K subscribers. That was amazing. Everybody that's in chat, holy cow, how long have I been on? Wait a minute, wait. Let me go over here to this little counter. 2 hours and a half. Well, let's go for 30 more minutes. Let's see, we got 7 callers, excuse me. No, 6 callers. 6 callers. Chris was the 6th one. Let's go for 7. Folks, if you haven't called, or if you have called, 931-994-6917, let's hear what you've got to say. You know, hey, I'm from so-and-so. Roids X, buddy. How's the meat packing business? Are they still up and at 'em, or what's going to happen in the future? What do you think? Well, Mongolian, Mogs, holy cow. All I can say, Mogs, is thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for Chris. Keep on keeping on. And thank you for Lee, buddy. That was an interesting story. I have no doubt that you've seen it. I will, as soon as you started describing it, I was like, holy shit, he's seen what I seen. Not to the, didn't get down to the dark brown robe, but wow. That's all I got to say. Honestly, it's just one of those things with, oh wow, we got 100 listeners right now. 101. Man, oh man. Thank you for everybody that even peeked in for 10 seconds. But anyway, if you want to be a part of the show, or just say, hey, howdy, I'm from wherever, 931-994-6917 is the number to call. That's the magic number to get in touch with me. And like I said, it's unscreened, meaning if you get on the air, you're going to hear, hey, you're on the air, live on the air. What's your name and where you're from? You're not going to have somebody say, okay, what do you want to talk about? But wow, 7 callers down for 2.5 hours. Now, I don't know. This is, I like every show. You know, every show's got a special place in my heart that happens, but this one is, wow, something special. Even though it is a 1,000 subscriber special, wow. That's all I can tell you. Chaos Theory, what's going on? Wow is wow. So what's going on in the chat? What you drinking tonight? I had, I'm on my half a bottle of water now and 1 dark, medium dark coffee down. Royd says, hey, Sean is legit. I don't know about how legit I am, but I'm doing what I do. So, and this is what I do. I'll have some, if you're new and you're just starting to listen, do I do unscreened open lines a lot? Shit, yeah. Do I have guests on? Yeah, I've had plenty of guests on. Had some, everybody from Bigfoot, Dogman, I wouldn't call them experts, enthusiasts, people in the know. Had ghost hunters, paranormal experts, or enthusiasts. I'm going to have to quit saying experts. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely click that link Misty just dropped for Mongolian Monsters channel. If you want to be a part of the family that's ever growing, and we've got another unscreened caller. Wait just a second, unscreened caller. Let me get you on live on air. Okay, you are live on air. Please turn your radio or device off in the background. Where are you from and what's your name?
Hey, Sean, it's Russell, Mogollon Monster. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Mogollon, what's up, brother?
How's it going?
It's going great.
Congrats on the 1,000, man. That's awesome.
Oh, man. Well, you are part of that 1,000 for sure. You helped me out. You got me over the hump and then some. By the time I woke up the next day, I was like, well, I'm well over 1,000. So, definitely.
That's awesome. So, man, you had some good callers. Good callers tonight.
Brother, honestly, I'm like, how in the hell do I rate to have these kinds of callers, this quality of callers with these fantastic stories? It's just, I don't know. It's like if you build it, they will come. If you open up the lines, they will call. So
absolutely. That's great. Yeah, like with was it Chris that is
Chris
sober now,
was the last
clean and
one.
sober.
Yeah, for a year and 3 months.
Keep it up.
After decades of on that stuff, that is a remarkable to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our issues. I mean, I drank for over 30 years hard, and I've been sober now for almost 4.5.
It's been November 7th. I touched any alcohol. So
right on. That's awesome. I love to hear these stories of recovery.
Well, everybody's got a little secret in their background. Some of them just can't come out yet because they just
for
whatever reason they just don't want to talk about it. Well, I can understand that. It can be painful to share for the first time.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I just wanted to call and again say congratulations.
Well, thank you, and
I'm glad I could help, man.
Team Mogollon Monster helped me out tremendously. Maybe I think blending of the two website or two podcasts are happening with the listeners for sure. I've seen some people.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen some people over on your stream, over on my stream, and vice versa. So definitely.
And it's great to see new people. It's just it's really my channel gets to come over and people from my channel are checking out your channel and digging it, and I think that's great. And vice versa. I hope, your people are coming over and enjoying themselves, or like, all right, we'll come back,
Yeah, I think we attract the same like minds. For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I had an experience. I always called it an outer body experience.
Oh,
but
cool.
It could have been a near-death experience. Like, I'll explain. When I was 13, I went camping with my dad, my two sisters, and my sister's boyfriend, and we were right on the Delaware River in New Jersey. And one day we decided, my dad and myself and my younger sister decided we're going to go for a hike. And we head up this mountain. We're going to go up this trail and go up to this lake and check it out. And as we're going up the trail, there's a stream that comes down alongside the trail. And at one point, there was this huge rock that the water just cascaded over, and it was probably like a 45-degree angle, and it was just really long and flat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 13. I see a water slide. And so I hop on this rock and push off, and zoom, down I go, and it's more falling and sliding, but I don't know. When I landed in a little puddle of water, and I landed with my knees in my chest, so I was sitting on my heels. That's where I landed. My body landed, or that's where my body stopped, because my spirit kept going. Sort of like, I hate, like, when you're a kid and if the bike stopped, you're riding a bike and the bike stopped and you flew over the handlebars.
Right.
That's what my spirit did. It kept going, and I landed like 15 feet, or not even 10 feet away from myself, on my hands and knees. Like I was looking at myself in that squatted position.
So you were floating over your body, so to speak?
I wasn't floating. I was on I was on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Like but it was I was seeing myself. Now, I always called it an outer body experience because it happened for 2 seconds, and I came back to my body, and as I started to come, back to myself, everything was going in slow motion. And then all of a sudden, like, I looked and I saw my dad running at me and yelling, but he was in slow motion. And then it all kind of came back into real time. And that's when I realized I screwed up. You know, I was bleeding, and I was in bad shape. So I always wondered, like, did my soul jump out thinking that I was going to be killed, or, you know, it was because it was such a traumatic experience, but like, I don't know, it was weird. I never could figure that out. Was it an outer body or was it a near death? Because I didn't see the light. It was like so quick that to me it was always just an outer body experience.
Oh, I guess that would be whatever you think it was. You know, if you're still on the fence of whether it was out of body or if it was a near-death experience, you know, at least you could say it was supernatural to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my little story.
There's so many people that I have dealt with over the years, not before I even got into this podcast stuff, that, you know, told me about their out-of-body experiences. I floated around, could see everything, especially doing sleep studies. You know, kind of creeps you out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You did what? Yeah, every time I fall asleep, I do this out-of-body experience thing. Not, you know, nothing traumatic like you just explained with the accident you just explained with, but, you know, all right. You know, and usually they, you know, did you see a cord attached to you, like a silver cord, perhaps?
No.
Okay.
No, it was so quick. It was like my body hit in that crouch position, but my soul tumbled out of me and landed on its hands and knees looking back at myself. You know, it was just bizarre.
Wow, that's impressive. And
you know, all my experiences, you know, I'm into Bigfoot, but all my experiences are paranormal.
No, have you ever seen a Bigfoot?
No.
No. And you still go out there and look for it. So,
you know, it's pretty fascinating. I got hooked on this subject like 3 years ago, and I'm just fascinated by it, you know, because everybody can't be lying. If one person's telling the truth, it exists.
Yeah, well, you get a lot of people talking about the same thing, you know, out-of-body experiences, Bigfoot sightings, dogman sightings, you name it. Anything that's supernatural, but the powers that be don't want that out there. They'll say, well, you know, they'll mock you or make fun of you or just dismiss your story altogether. You know, I can't prove you can't prove it, and I can't prove my near-death experience, and you can't prove your out-of-body experience other than say, hey, I had this experience. You know, I've had several people tell me I don't believe that you had it. So, you know, I believe absolutely you had this experience. No doubt in my mind. I don't have an inkling, one, that this was didn't happen. You know, I kind of feel a little bit sad for the folks that can dismiss this. You know, just like, well, that doesn't fit in my view of the universe or my little world that I, you know, have a rut in the carpet from my day-to-day activities. That doesn't fit in there. You know, what's going to happen when it does fit in there? Are you going to blow a head gasket, sort of, kind of? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's in anybody's until it happens. You know, I think it's the fact that it happened that opened, you know, you realize there's more. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was into anything paranormal or anything like had ever happened until that moment, you know, when I was 13.
Oh, 13. Well, Roids X just asked, when did this experience? And you said it was back when you were 13. So that's been a minute at least, yeah?
Yeah, it was 1980. So,
1980.
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, 1980, I was 10 years old back then. Yep. That's been a hot minute. That's back when I was still devising ways of getting G.I. Joes back then.
G.I. Joes, wow.
Yeah, and did you play with G.I. Joes when you were a kid?
Yeah, with Kung Fu grip, and yeah, this little button in the back, and
yeah, flip it around and stuff. Yeah. At that time, my late dad was he was a welder, and he got a notion in my head that I wanted choppers for bicycles, so he would cut and piece together a chopper bicycle for me. And I can remember the first one that he built for me, and the damn spot weld broke on the forks on the front. Oh, no. And I went over. That's a hard way to land, going over the front of a bicycle where the forks break. But yeah, I did that.
Oh,
had fun.
I've been over handlebars when I was a kid many times where I lost teeth.
Oh yeah. It's just remarkable.
Like, yeah, thanks, Dad. Great bike.
Great bike. Appreciate that spot weld you did. It broke. You go around with sore hands for a while, and they're lucky that you didn't break anything. So yeah. It was. But I had fun. Can't say that the only thing that I can remember besides flying forward because the forks broke in the front. We lived in this little trailer, and I was riding down the incline down past the front of the trailer, and one of the windows was open, and I hit the top of my head on the corner of that window. I don't know how in the hell I did not black out, but I didn't. But I bled like a stuck pig, though.
Yeah, that happened to me this weekend. I was up at my roommate's fish camp doing some work on her cabin, and there's a little shed that's attached to it. It's got the hot water heater and the well pump in there, but the floor was rotted out, and there was some stored windows and sinks in there, and I stepped through the floor, my foot went through the floor, and the momentum, my knee hit the side of the sink. It was a stainless steel sink, but it didn't hit the outside edge. It hit an inside ledge, and it went right to the kneecap, 2 inches across.
Oh my God. Would you believe?
Yeah.
Would you believe telling that story? I could feel my missing left leg. It's haunting me right now. My right leg's okay. I don't feel anything, but my left leg feels like somebody's sitting there just squeezing the shit out of it right now. Thinking about that.
It's technically I probably could have gotten stitches, but I was like, no, just bandage it and go back to work.
Oh yeah, I heard that story.
Well, knock on wood.
You had to take a break when
I've never had stitches.
Yeah, well, I've had a couple of stitches, obviously, but I heard the story that you told on your channel where you had to actually take a break when your shoe was being filled with blood. That was kind of gross, but ugh.
Well, yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Yeah. Well, I bandaged it. It was fine, and then at one point I looked down. I was talking to Stevie B, and it was running down my leg, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go." I just cleaned it up and bandaged it again, and the next day it was fine. It was past the point of where it's gonna tear open or anything again. I know that's gnarly. Sorry, guys.
I used to be, the one thing I couldn't deal with when I was in respiratory therapy. I could deal with blood and I could deal with guts, but the business end of the respected patient, no. Couldn't deal with that end. Now, I don't know how nurses and aides did that, but no, thank you. But I did, eventually I did help out. So I got used to it.
God bless them for doing that kind of work,
Oh, yeah.
Being able, they're willing, that's, my hat's off to them. So, well, listen, dude, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you again, Mogs. Well, thank you again, Mogs, for the help with getting over, and I can't wait for your next live performance. I think it was a Tuesday and Fridays that you have.
Tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, Thursdays. Oh, I thought it was Fridays. Why did I think it was Fridays? I don't know. But definitely subscribe to him and hit those bells so you know when he goes on. He's got a excellent show, and he's got folks just like people that call in. He has those types of folks over there all the time. Jeff H., I need to get him on board over here and let him tell his Bigfoot experiences and his studies that he's doing currently.
Yeah, Jeff's doing some good work. And it's an interesting story, too. It's kind of like, what? So I'll let him tell it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely need to get him. Yeah. If you don't mind, next time you see him or talk to him, pass my number on to him or whatever. I'd love to talk to him.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Mogs, you have a blessed night, brother.
You do the same, man.
All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Good night.
Good night. Mogollon Monster. There you go, brother. Fantastic to hear from him. And wow, all I can say is this has been one hell of a how long have I been on this thing? Hold on just a second. Let me pull the timer out here. 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 8 seconds. Now, wow, yes, G.I. Joe. I forgot I left that up there. I got engrossed in talking to Mogollon Monster. If you don't know, if you have never seen Mogollon Monster's channel, you need to go over there. He's got a laid-back show, and he likes to talk about just about everything that I like to talk about. So I love his show. That's one of the shows I try not to miss. And thanks, Roids, for that follow-up question there. Wow. What am I trying to do here? Oh, yeah, I lost my train of thought here. I've got to go do this and click this to recycle that. There you go. Ed, the chosen one. Congrats on 1,000 subs, buddy. If it wasn't for you, it wasn't for everybody in this chat and listening to this show, I wouldn't have got there. Wouldn't even got anywhere close to that. Apparently I'm doing something right. Or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah. Oh, Dragon ZW, buddy. Hey there. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the good stories that you have shared with us. Wow. It's just one of those things. Just one of those things that you just wonder and scratch your head. Why do I deserve with, open up the lines and say, hey, call in. Tell me your story. And this is what I've been getting. Is this average? Oh, no, I got a problem with my microphone. Just now found that out. Oh, frick. Now I got to break that thing open and see what's loose inside of that. But, yeah, this is what you get. Definitely. This has been average. Average. This is above average, don't get me wrong. The callers from one-man band at the front, Wes, Bigfoot Anonymous, Chase, Lee with his cloaked robe, 8 foot tall, Death, whatever that thing was. And then Chris with his near-death experience. Buddy, I wish and hope and pray that you're going to be better than ever tomorrow and the day after. God willing, God bless you. Well, Marie, all you have to do is call in, sweetie. Just call in 931-994-6917 and you will be a bona fide guest. Mercedes, thank you. Appreciate that. All I can tell you is I couldn't be here without each and every last one of you. Even the ones that don't subscribe. Those that just hover around and I kind of like that. I've got channels that I watch and don't subscribe. I should subscribe. But even those folks that just pop in and say, hey, I like this. Keeps on your radar. For those that don't subscribe, I still appreciate you. Even though you don't subscribe, that's fine. And for the folks that, are around and don't subscribe, just at least hit that thumbs up button. At least that gives the analytic gods over on YouTube the kick in the boot saying, hey, let's share this out a little bit more. Got 100 likes and 77 current viewers. Yeah, Mogollon Monster. Wow. I can remember the night that you said, hey, I got to teach you how to say my name, Mogollon. I think I said Mogollon. He said Mogollon. I appreciate that. Yeah. Number is on the screen, 931-994-6917. And somebody asked me privately, I was supposed to be getting, wait a minute, Roids is calling in. Give me just a second. Unscreened caller, Roids, give me just a second. Get you patched into the rest of the show, and you're live. Hey, buddy, thank you. Appreciate you being a part of the show.
Sean, I had a call in, my friend. I had just about 3 weeks ago this experience. And the reason why I asked Mogollon Monsters when he actually had it, that was back in the 1980s, he said. Yeah. Mine just happened 3 weeks ago. I was laying in bed, and I don't know what time it was in the morning. It was still dark, but I was laying in bed, and I woke up. At least I thought I woke up. And when you go to, like you're doing a crunch, you sit up in bed, right? I keep a water bottle next to my window, so it stays nice and cool at night. And so I reached up for that to take a drink, but I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And I was literally falling off the end of my bed towards my TV against the wall. And I remember seeing my computer monitor, and it has a green light on it in the back. But it felt like I know it felt more like I was awake than anything. But I kept falling forward, and right before I hit the floor and next to my TV, I woke up in my bed. And I swear it had been like an out-of-body experience I never experienced before. I had no control, Sean, of what I was doing. So this is it was the most wildest thing I've ever experienced out of a out-of-body experience. I don't know if it was like astral projecting, whatever they want to call it, but that's what it felt like to me. So when Monster was on there talking about it, like I can kind of relate to like he said he popped out of his body, you know?
Yeah.
So I just felt like I'd call in and share that with you. It was wild to me.
Well, the closest I could probably come to, which I didn't have an out-of-body experience, is back when I was in my drinking days, and thank God I'm not doing that. Blacking out, waking up, tits up, looking at the ceiling, wondering, how in the hell did I get here?
Yeah, no, but he said he fell on his knees and his hands, and he looked back and he saw his body, right?
Right.
But mine was, I never saw my body or anything. I kept looking straight, and I looked to my right, and my room was the exact same way normally what it would look like when I wake up, you know, in the dark. But just getting up, once I started sitting up in bed, I kept going forward, and I had no control of what my body was doing. And I wasn't drinking or anything that night before. I was 100% sober. But it just, before I hit the ground, it just like it snapped, and I was right back on my bed, and I just woke up. My dog was laying next to me. I'm like, what the hell just happened? It was the wildest feeling. So when Monster was explaining his story, I just wanted to see when it actually happened. Like, man, it'd be what a synchronicity if it actually happened 3 weeks ago to the guy, you know. But that's why I asked, like, when did this happen? Because mine happened just 3 weeks ago, and like no one believes me. Like I had a family get together, and I told them, and they were explaining stories. I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you were dreaming and you woke up, went back to bed, and you started continuing off where you left off on your dream.
I have done it a couple times, but I've also had dreams where I woke up and say, well, I hope I can pick up on that dream and it doesn't happen. But I've had it both ways.
Yeah, same here. But this was not a dream. This was pretty wild, man. Like it was, and so like I started researching astral projection and stuff, and I came across certain information and it's free. I can't remember the website for it, but if you actually start meditating on it, basically sit down and you start pretending like start meditating. You project your body, walking around your apartment, walking outside, doing different things around your apartment like you normally would do if you were actually walking through it physically. Because they say if you astral project or you pop out of your body, you can't control your spirit or your soul or whatever it is when I call it, when it comes out of your body.
Astral projection, is that what you're trying to get
Yeah,
to?
I'd call it
Okay.
a spirit. And it felt like it popped out of my body, like it was, but I kept leaning forward and forward and forward, and to the point where I was on my knees in my bed, and I was just going over the top of my bed, and I had no control of what I was doing. but it was like I was wide awake doing this, and before I hit the ground, I woke up in my bed. But it's just crazy. I never saw my body or anything like what Monster was describing, but I had no control over it. It's just crazy. That's wild. So.
Well, I've had dreams where I'm walking, ironically, on a train trestle that is no longer in existence now. And I'd fall off the end of this train trestle onto the floor, or not the floor, onto the road below. And before I'd hit the road or whatever, the ground, I'd wake up and it felt like I just fell back, snap right back in, and felt like I actually hit into the bed. And I often wondered, what exactly was I doing, in that dream that would cause me to feel like I actually physically landed and woke up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's amazing. I honestly, supernatural stuff, touching the other side, perhaps. Maybe there is a physical connection there. For lack of a lesser word or a better word, I don't know. I think that we're all connected? Absolutely. We're connected like a rather robust spider web. Everybody on this planet. I'm connected to you like Mogollon Monster, and the chat's connected to me and connected to you, and vice versa, and everybody else on this planet. And everything else outside this planet is connected in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one. So we're
kind of hard to explain.
Life experience together.
Yeah, it's this we just connected now, connected many months ago. So how's the meat processing plant business going on? Or do you got an NDA
we're
now?
Doing good. No, we're doing good. We're back at the full production. I won't go into it on YouTube with you because I don't want you to get in trouble. But anyway, they're testing twice a week for us unvaccinated, unsegregated people. But I do have to warn people here in the United States, at least, because to me it doesn't make sense. I got to be careful what I say because I work for the company. But 60% of our production is going towards Chinese products. So I know we're shipping 60% of our products to Nebraska with Chinese label on it, not going towards Oakland. And that's our major port, going over to like Taiwan and Thailand and things like that. So it makes me wonder what.
Not only are we we're exporting most of our coal, but we're exporting, from your perspective, a healthy portion of our meat products. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense why if it because the labels on it's all in Chinese, and I speak Chinese to a certain point. My girlfriend is from Taiwan. But like, it doesn't make sense why we're shipping it over into Nebraska if it has a Chinese, because we don't do the fresh export. It's a frozen export. We put the product in the trailer and it's at -10 degrees, and it goes towards Nebraska, and then I can't remember the state, but it's basically in the middle of the United States. So it doesn't make sense to me why we're shipping export products to the middle of the United States that's destined for China.
That doesn't make sense. You would think it would go to a port instead of in the middle of the United States.
Yeah, if it does go to China, unless they're shipping it from Nebraska, putting it in trailers, and then doing the export, because the USDA has to go through the export process, at least on the end. But unless Nebraska is doing it and they're shipping it from Nebraska out to Oakland, because Oakland will basically covers the port out there, covers all the export product.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they just add, especially when fuel prices is going sky high, why would they send all the way out to Nebraska when we could just do it here? If that makes any sense.
Honestly, I don't know. They're saying that we were, I don't know, you're more of an expert on it than I am, that we were getting a lot of our pork and chicken products from China. Is that true?
I don't know about that one. I don't know. Well, I know. See, the company I work for, I know China owns a lot in the pork end of it. So they basically pretty much own. I'm not going to say which company it is, but they pretty much own. They basically own the company. So.
Wow.
You really need to get down to it. All these corporations own every company that they just take upon their name, and they just put it over an umbrella type of a thing. It's
true,
like our media.
True. There's always a shell company or a mama or somebody owns that shell company that owns another shell company that encompasses it. And then you got to go 4 or 5, if not dozens deep to actually find who actually owns that thing.
Yeah, it's like Kellogg. Like Kellogg and Malto-Mill, for example, they're all owned by a certain company and certain entity. So, but they keep the name of it. So, like where we ship out of this meat packing plant, we basically use the same company's name, but we keep our previous company's name because they're used to that product and that brand, if that makes sense. So people are used to Kellogg, they're used to like Malto-Mill. But
my cousin bought a pharmacy and kept the pharmacist's last name on the bill because everybody was used to it, But I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. Same with the meat packing plants and stuff. I think the only separation we have there is Tyson's meat. So.
Oh, okay.
So there's that's our biggest rival, but who knows? They might be all owned by the same entity, whoever it is. But they keep, so like Swift and whatever else. Anyway, but So I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me why we're shipping to Nebraska for export going to China.
I honestly haven't been able to wrap my mind about these export imports, why we do this or why we do that on an international level or even internally, in the United States or within a country. The reasons, from a perspective I have been privy to was either, power. Money has a lot to do with it, but power and ego, for any decision. Usually ego and power overrides any kind of money decisions, especially if you're at that level or above that level. I don't give a shit what it costs. If it's an ego thing, I'm going to do it because it's an ego thing. Now, that's from what I've gathered. But, how it happens elsewhere, power seems to be the biggest coin of the realm right now.
Yeah. Well, it's all about money. But, I thank you, Sean, for your show. And I just really appreciate all the callers you have. And just whoever can hear the sound of my voice, just be kind to each other, love one another, and get along with one another, because in the end, we're all the same species. We're all here together. We're all in it together, no matter where you're at. So, and I appreciate you, Sean. You're a good man, and congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. So,
well, thank you for being part of the Chasing Truth family, buddy. You've been right there almost from day one. I appreciate you, Roids.
Yeah, no, you're a good man. So you truly are like the next Art Bell. And then Lisa Ray said earlier on in the chat, she said, I think Sean's better than Art Bell, and I have to agree.
I don't. I've said this before. I said I don't even know if mentioning my name with Art Bell in any kind of sentence makes sense to me, but I appreciate that you think that. So.
Well, no, it's not just me. There's a lot of people out there that think it, So your channel's going to keep growing and growing, and then you're going to outgrow YouTube here too. So, but just keep doing what you're doing, Sean. You're reaching a lot of people, and you give a safe space, and you're understanding, and you have a lot of good insight, just on the outlook of life, just in itself,
All right. Well,
God bless you, and you're in my prayers, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Roids. I'm going to hop off of here and get to this next caller. Appreciate you, Roids.
Okay. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Yep.
All right.
Talk to you soon. Yep.
Unscreened caller, you are next in line, meaning you are live. What's your name and where are you from?
Oh, my name is Marie, and
hello.
I'm from Spokane, Washington. Hello. How are you doing?
It's been a hot minute since I talked to you over on Discord. What's going on with you?
Oh, not too much.
Wow.
Not too much, except,
How you been feeling? Yeah, health wise.
better, much better, Sean.
Great. So what you got good to say?
Well, I got a lot of good to say.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay, when I was in the hospital when I was 13 or 14, I think it was 13 or 14, but I had a near-death experience where I had double pneumonia at the time, and my heart stopped for I don't know how long, but I saw this room that was round, and there was a door. Like when you go in the entrance, there was this black door, which I never went to. There was a window, but it was filled with light, very, very bright, and it was, I was heading towards there when all of a sudden I got snapped back, like, a rubber band.
Oh, yeah.
And you pull the rubber band back, and snapped right back into my body.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. After that, I was okay, I guess.
Well, before you got snapped back, did you experience anything? You have any memory of what went on?
Like just the windows. I remember floating in the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about that door? You mentioned something about a door.
Yeah, there was a door. It was black in color, and I stayed away from it.
Oh, wow. So what made you stay away from it? Was it a bad feeling or just the door looked creepy?
No, bad feeling, and it looked creepy.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you made it back, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you snapped back and you came to, did you feel like you fell into the bed or wherever you fell asleep at?
I fell into the bed. I fell right back into my body in the hospital. I had surgery on my hip, and I contracted double pneumonia. Unfortunately.
Well, how's your lung status now? How are you feeling now? You not getting any lung
very,
problems?
Very good.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, I have asthma from time to time, but I do that, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're in good health. So, yeah, definitely. I'm glad you called in. You're welcome to call in anytime. I know that you don't pop over here every once in a while, but wow. Appreciate you calling in, Marie.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you, Marie.
Bye.
Bye. And that's Marie. She is hot from over on my Discord server, Chasing the Truth, over there on Discord. If you look down in the description of the YouTube channel, there is a link to get invited over there instantly to the Discord channel. A lot of like-minded people, truth chasers. If you want to be a part of that, go right ahead. Every once in a while, I'll jump over there after the show, especially if if the show's kicked my ass, I may not show up, but I probably might be over there tonight, so we'll see. Holy cow, we had 10 callers. Now, folks, 3 hours and 13 minutes. Let me tell you my plan for tonight's show. Unscreened open lines. Call in 931-994-6917 and say a prayer before the show. And this is what I get. This is, God blessed this show for whatever reasons. However, I don't know. Other than that, God has his almighty hand into this, is all I can tell you. So, wow. Let's see, we got Iron Dogger in the house over there. Wow, look at that. Iron Dogger from over on Mogollon Monsters website, his show. She does a joint venture with him, I think, Tuesday nights. So definitely go over there. I think Iron Dogger, do you have a show yourself? Just a second. Let me go ahead and give you a wrench, and you can, if you got a show, you can drop your link to your your show over there. Hold on just a second. Let me get this. I've got too many freaking screens open, is all I can tell you. Where are you? Oh, Dragon. Are you leaving, buddy? Oh, man. Now, when Dragon ZW ever calls in, just sit still, or if you need to go take a quick leak, grab you a coffee. He is worth the listen if he ever does call in. He has stories upon stories, shadow creatures. He corrects me every time I say shadow people. Shadow creatures, wide-eyed and black-eyed kids that he sees while he's in the hospital. All right, Iron Dogger, if you don't want that wrench, tell me. I'll take it back, but definitely drop a link for your show if you've got one. And yeah, God bless you, Dragon ZW. Happy hour, appreciate you. Wow. Well, I said I'll give another half hour, and it is midnight here on my end. I know I post Central Time just because that's where I'm used to running my show off of Central Time. Dragon does have a good stories. Absolutely. Dragon's got the best. One of the best out there on the market. If you call it a market. Did I just say market? One of the best that's coming and going nowhere, bar none. Wow. Marie, thank you. God bless you. 1983, thank you for calling in. You were perfect. No problems whatsoever. Your voice sounded real strong, and I'm glad that you made it on board to actually call in. That is just absolutely amazing. All right, this I'm going to give you one more time. This is the last call, calling for the last caller. 931-994-6917. This is the last call for the last caller of the night. Unscreened calls on Chasing the Truth on the Dark Waters channel on the Paranormal Radio app. And to let you guys know, I've been picked up by the Fringe FM. Saturday nights, my regular show that's on Dark Waters channel and on UPRN 107.7, it has been picked up by the Fringe FM. So Saturday night will be my first go at it. Joe Roop and the gang over there at the Fringe FM. Wow is all I can tell you. Dark Woods, you will not be disappointed in the least. If you like anything that has to do with supernatural, paranormal, I even think he might have had a Bigfoot story, if I'm not mistaken. But wow is all I can tell you. But last call for the last caller, 931-994-6917. I'm going to give it about 3 more minutes. Nobody calls in, and I'm going to say goodnight to you folks. But again, thank you for all the, let's see, what's the current status? Oh, wow. We're up to 1,060. 10 people have joined in. The 10 people right before I got online. 20 people have shown up on my screen here. Wow. How the heck does that happen? 1,060. Thank you for every last one of you that have hit that subscribe button and thought enough about whatever the hell I'm doing right now, other than answering a call and saying, hey, what good do you have to say? Oh, there you go. Looks like we've got, here we go. We got another unscreened caller coming in. Last caller of the night, folks. Unscreened caller, give me just a second to get you piped in over to the live stream. And officially, unscreened caller, you are on board. What's your name or where are you from?
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Doing all right. What's your name, sir?
I go by BF Bud on the YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I remember Connor was trying to get you to call in. You happen to be the final caller of the night.
So. Yeah, he's been getting me heck. But I don't have no out-of-body experiences, but none myself, but I experienced a few where I worked at. I worked at a prison.
Oh, okay.
And so I was sitting there one night and back in the break room drinking a cup of coffee. And, we're supposed to go around about every half hour, do range checks and...
look in the inmate cells and all.
Oh, sorry about that. I apologize for before you come back. I accidentally hit the wrong button and put you sound like Minnie Mouse for just a second. I apologize. So if you go back and think, oh, he did that on purpose, no, I didn't. That was just me hitting the wrong fucking button.
I wish I could hear that. I bet that's pretty funny.
Well, I got that set up. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got that set up for. Oh, gee. Well, you go ahead and finish your story, and then I'll finish my story.
Okay. But anyway, I sent it back. Just came off the range, making some range checks and checking on the inmates and sitting in the back, drinking a cup of coffee, and me and my partner met up back there. And all of a sudden, from my side, from where my inmates cell at, somebody's just beating and kicking and screaming, and one of the cell doors. And I look at my partner, I'm like, what in the world? So we go running over and find the cell, and we go up to the upstairs there and up to the window. 'Cause you don't never want to pop them doors till you see what's going on.
Right.
And this guy was in the cell, alone by himself, and he was kicking and screaming. I'm sitting there, hey, calm down, what's wrong? And he was just kicking and screaming, let me out. And I'm like, what in the world? So I had me and my partner sitting there and talked to him for 10, 15 minutes. Before we finally got him calmed down. He says, CO, please let me out. He goes, I swear I'm okay. Just let me out. Hurry up, please. And, we get him out and cuff him, take him downstairs. I called the nurse. And
connection just wind up. BF Bud, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Sean. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just went out for just about 7-8 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where did I go out at?
Literally, I was responding to another chat that was asking me who somebody was. So just back up about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and retell the story if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, let's see. Me and my partner went upstairs to the cell door. Okay. And this guy was kicking and screaming and hollering, let me out, CO, let me out, please let me out, just begging. And so it took 10, 15 minutes to calm him down, and we finally got him out and cuffed him, took him downstairs, and I went and called the nurse. And this guy was white as a ghost. I mean, just looked like he was going to throw up any time. I actually felt kind of bad for the guy. And so the nurse got there and spent 15, 20 minutes. Well, he couldn't hardly talk. He was shaking so bad. And so finally, we got him calmed down enough. And we said, hey, what happened? He says, CO, he goes, man, I think I'm losing it. He goes, I'm in that cell all by myself. I said, yeah, because you have to look before you pop them doors just in case. But I said, yeah, you're in there by yourself. And he said, well, he goes, something woke me up in the middle of the night, and I look up, and because he's on the bottom bunk. He said, I looked up, and there's a hump in that top bunk, like somebody's in. So I figured maybe you guys brought somebody in and put in the cell while I was asleep. I said, no, we had nobody come in or out. And he's like, well, he goes, all of a sudden, he says, there was two hands that come over the top bunk. And he said, I seen somebody peek over the bed just from the nose to the eyes to the top of the head. Is all I could see.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And he says, I raised up and jumped up, and there's the face of the guy I killed. He said, I just lost it. He said, I started beating on the door. Next thing I remember is sitting here. He goes, I don't even remember you getting me out of the cell or nothing.
Holy shit. So this guy in the cell by himself sees the guy that he killed.
Yeah. And
shit.
The nurses sent him out on one of them psych things, and he got sent to the psych prison and never did make it back. So I really don't know what happened to him. And then another guy, one of my buddies, he worked in another cell block. He was sitting in the TV room one night eating his lunch, and this is all third shift. And he was eating his lunch, and a shadow figure walks in the small TV room and sits down beside him. I mean, he says it's just a black shadow. And it came in and sat down beside him. And he said, I mean, you got to know this. this other guy. No, he's a pretty cool guy. He ain't all there. He was an ex-Marine. So, but I mean, he said, I said, what'd you do, John? He said, well, bud, I just got up and turned around and said, if you want to watch TV, you can have it. And this guy just drew paranormal stuff wherever he was. It just attracted him like moth to a flame, you know. And then another time I was sitting in the back, and I was working with a lady, and she came walking from my side. I mean, she was a black lady, but she was whiter than I was. And she said, "Bud, oh my God," she says, "I've never seen ghosts down there." I said, "Well, I ain't got no ghosts on my side as far as I know." And she goes, "Oh my God, I just seen him." I said, "Well, you're the third woman that told me that they seen a ghost, because it seemed like only women seen ghosts in my, you know, the spot I worked." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Did you see what cell it went to?" Because I've had the other ladies told me what cell it run into. She goes, "Yeah, it was 183 or something like that." And I said, "Well, that's weird." I said, that guy was executed 4 years ago, and he was a rapist, you know." And and I said, "It's weird because only women see him." I said, I've never experienced any. In that one spot that I'm talking about, I worked there 22 years. And I mean, I've got so many them stories like that from the prison. I worked there 31 years, just retired in April. And I mean, there's some weird stuff that goes on with them prisons, but I mean, you'd be surprised.
Well, this is probably going to tell something on me, but I don't give a shit. It's true. How I lost my left leg. I was drunk driving and had a wreck, and luckily nobody got seriously injured but me. And I had to spend some time in jail, so to pay back society for what I did, and I did all that and got through all. You know, I'm done with that a portion of my life. But while I was in jail, I had this distinct feeling when when everything gets real quiet, and all of a sudden, part of the jail starts yelling and carrying on, and the other part is like it comes in waves, and there's an odd feeling around it. I don't know if you from your perspective, do you get that sense there's something weird, something evil going on that's influencing these folks?
I've always been like, what do you say? I can't think of the word. I've always been susceptible, I guess, to feelings like that. I mean, Sean, I mean, that ain't nothing wrong being in jail. I mean, I'm sure most of us listeners are just one, I'm sure we've all done something we all could have been put in jail. Most of us probably, know. I mean, there was one morning that I went out to let my cell block go to chow. And I pop all the doors, and all of a sudden I hear, "Bud, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Bob, this is my cousin." I said, "What the hell are you doing in here?" He said, "They got me. They finally got me." I said, "You dumbass." He got drunk and high one night and all doped up, and him and the buddy went out and robbed some guy and wound up killing him. And I'd always try never to find out what none of them was in, because I always try to treat them the same. Always try to treat them fair. And one of them would start telling me what they're in. I said, "Oh, stop right there. I don't care what you're in here for. I don't want to know." There's certain crimes, to kids, and I mean, that was a no-no in prison. If the other inmates found out, you done something to kids or something, families, it was bad. So, yeah, thanks, Mo. Sensitive is the word. I've always been sensitive to picking up. My grandma always told me, Grandma was 100% Indian and Grandpa was half. And, so she said I've always had some kind, because Grandma was real psychic, my mom was. And I don't know, as soon as I walked through that gate to the prison, I always felt, bam, something, just have that feeling over me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was always, I look back on it just talking about the experience you're talking about with being on the other side of the bars, and I've been on the other side from opposite of you, and I was like, well, let me ask. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that had that sensation. I actually had a weird, my dreams there. This is about a year, 2.5 years after my accident, and I was recovered and all this other stuff from the accident as best I could be. And I woke up after a near-death experience, wound up in the jail. I had no problems with it because I did it. I might as well go ahead and pay for what I did, so I did. But the dreams I had in there was just off the chain. I'm like, wow. I don't know what the hell was going on with that.
It's a shame some of these, I know it's impossible, some of these paranormal investigators, well, if they could get inside one of these prisons and actually have inmates, I know it's impossible, but that's like a gold mine. That's like the mother lode. If you can get some of these paranormal people, for one, I don't, I'll go out in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, hunt an 8-foot tall creature. But when it comes to ghosts, no.
Well,
this old boy.
To quote my buddy, Bald of Nightmares, he said, I don't do paranormal because you can't shoot a bullet at it and get rid of it.
Well, that's some good philosophy right there.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't do it. He'll go out and hunt these cryptids and then research and stuff like that. But he said, paranormal? Absolutely not.
Well, I know it's getting late, Tom, and I know you said you wanted to get out of here, so I just, like I said, I've got 100 of them stories. I just wanted to...
man, anytime you want to call back, you can stay as long as you want to. When I said I'm on this is the last call, I'm not putting a time limit on it. On the call.
No, I ain't going to keep you. So, it's past my bedtime, too. I just wanted to check out the show and give a shout out to Flat Rock Booger and Mogollon Monster, and I met some guys down in Tennessee. They was great guys.
Oh, I heard about that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you like the show?
Oh, I love the show. I heard about it first from Mogollon, so I went over and checked it out and checked your show out, and I like it. I love it.
I appreciate that.
I love how you guys do you guys don't schedule guests. You guys just let callers call in. I love that. I love that format.
All right. Well, occasionally I'll have a guest on, and I've had some people that I've called back a few other times. But one of them, the best shows I've ever had was doing these open lines. I used to dread it, so oh god, I'm gonna have to do this. I got so used to it that I absolutely enjoy not knowing who's calling in.
I'm sure you can get that butthole every once in a while, but.
That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. That leads me back to answer the question. I've actually got a couple of ways to kind of not make fun, just make lightheartedness of anybody that calls in with these things. So if you call in and you start saying whatever, I can make you sound like a Minnie Mouse in 2 seconds. Just like I did here, BF Bud here for about 2 seconds. I apologize because I hit the freaking wrong button. So.
Well, I'm definitely going to go back and have to listen to that because that sounds like it's going to be funny. So.
Yeah, it was only like a second and a half, but I apologize for that. That was not meant to happen. That was just me being a fucker. So anyway, BF Bud. Well, I appreciate it. Anytime you want to call in and tell your other stories you got, that sounds like you got plenty. I'd love to hear them.
All right, I appreciate it, Sean. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you, BF Bud. Appreciate it.
You have a good night.
You too, sir. All right, bye-bye. BF Bud. I appreciate you calling in. And for all the other 1,000, let's see, let me get the current score here, 1,060 subscribers. This has been Chasing the Truth on the Dark Waters radio channel on the Paranormal Radio app. And soon on Saturdays, I'm going to be a part of not only the Dark Waters radio channel on the Paranormal Radio app, UPRN 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, UPRNtalkradio.com. Only on Saturdays, not tonight. And the Fringe FM. First show on the Fringe FM will be this Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. Holy cow. If you want to reach out to me after the show, the 931-994-6917 is the number that is just as good now after the show. Just not at 4 o'clock in the morning. I may not answer, but or my show address, Sean G at imdarkwaters.com. Thank you, folks. Everybody that has been a part of this show over the last since 2018. Holy frickin' cow! You know, is it going to grow? That's up to God and you. You know, God gives me good health and gives me the wherewithal and the means to do so. Yeah, why not? Why the heck not? But holy cow, what's going on next? You know, like the love of my life, Miss T wrote, said, you never know what's going to happen next. That's exactly right. And that's why these unscreened open lines is gold. You know, I don't know why people are so afraid of answering the phone. You know, every once in a while you might have some SOB or whatever call in. Yeah, handle it. You know, I can understand if you're a part of a syndicated show, which I need to talk to the Fringe FM and say, hey, what do we do with fucktards that call in? How you going to do that? But, you know, obviously they've been told that what I do is off the hip, and the words that you can't say on late night, well, I guess you can say it on late night TV now, but hell, why not? I don't care. All they can say is, hey, Sean, you can't do that no more. And then I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to go back and do what I do best. So there you go. All right, folks, here is how I end every show for the folks that just joined in for the first time. Thank you. For the long-time listeners, thank you. Here's my closing prayer. Dear God in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you for all the blessings that you have given, not only to me, but my family, my friends, the love of my life, Miss T, Terry. Thank you for all the callers. Thank you for Chris. You know, watch after him as he, you know, hold his hand when he needs to be held. Send your angels of caring and support to him as he goes through his days, and make each day better for that gentleman. Thank you for all Marie that just called in. Thank you for her. Holy smokes, dear God. I don't know why I deserve this, but thank you. Please, dear God, to bless each and every one of the listeners, the participants that listen live or listen later. Protect them, and I plead the blood of Jesus Christ on them and make them safe and sound from everything that is evil, demonic, extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, interdimensional, anything that is out for the ruin of souls of man. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ on each and every one of them. Please protect my house and protect those houses of those folks that are participate or listen just for a second or half a second. Dear God in heaven, in Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. Folks, holy cow. Wow, that's all I can tell you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, from Miss T. Thank you from her as well. This is just one of those crazy, incredible open lines, unscreened open lines. So, folks, if you want to reach out to me, 931-994-6917 or Sean G at imdarkwaters.com. Join me Saturday night over on the Dark Waters YouTube channel, UPR and 107.7 FM. And now the Fringe FM Saturday night. Same time, same channel. Holy cow. Can you believe it? And for the new listeners, if you join me on Saturday or next Wednesday or whenever you find me, you know, hope you enjoy what's coming next. Now, I did not plan any of this. I did not say, hey, to the 11 people that called in tonight. Thank you, let's see, One Man Band. Thank you, Wes, BF, Bigfoot Anonymous, Chase, Lee Roberts. Wow, that was an incredible story. Oh my God, that was an incredible story. Chris, God bless you, brother. Mogollon Monster, Roids X, Marie, God bless you, honey. And BF Bud, y'all keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard, buddy. Y'all just keep it between the mayonnaise and mustard, and I'll see you next Saturday. And let me hit the outro here. Hold on just a second. Let me get this thing. I'm supposed to be doing this professionally, but obviously I'm not doing it professionally. So here we go.
Do ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death?
It looks like a giant ape with a man's face.
We've done some testing to determine if it is a synthesizer or not.
It's starting to come at me like
it's very difficult to do with this.